Whoa, they did well, didn't they?
Yeah, finally.
So you do have four. Are we going to vote on it tonight? It's on the agenda. I guess we could.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
So you can get
Yeah,
moving
I
on
broke
it.
my hand
All right.
today.
Sounds good.
What happened?
Oh, it's
just
the
for a while.
stupidest thing.
Yeah, it was a little
They
spooky.
usually are.
Yeah, when we talked.
Hot, curling rod. And I grabbed the wrong end. So I just was like hurrying this morning, getting kids ready, and my daughter's like, "Can you help me?" I ran in, I grabbed the wrong end, and
Oh, yes.
burned
Oh,
like
yes.
all my fingers.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, it's just so painful if I don't. Well, yeah.
If you don't keep it cold. Have you got
I don't-
blistered?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I've got that one. There was one here that's now just gone red. So, but like I burned these three fingers extensively, but the cold has helped them. But it just hurts without it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were in a car accident and I got burned by the airbag, there wasn't anything that you could really tell, but my whole hand hurt. So at night, all night, I had to keep, and then a couple of weeks or a week and a half later,
Healing.
it got to be like a snake skin.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Good evening. I'm Kathleen Alder, the Mayor of Providence. Welcome to the Providence City Council meeting, Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. Do you want me to do it again? Good evening. I'm Kathleen Alder, the Mayor of Providence. Welcome to the Providence City Council meeting, Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. So we have in attendance Jeff Nebaker, Brent Speth, Carrie Kirk, and David Coons. We'd like to excuse Janelle Seeley this evening. Jeff Nebaker will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brent Speth will say a prayer for us unless there's someone in the audience that would like to give a prayer. Brent?
Our dear Heavenly Father, it is with much gratitude we bow our heads and give Thee thanks for this beautiful place which we live. Truly is a providence, Father in heaven, and we appreciate the opportunity we have to live in this beautiful land of America. We're grateful, Father in heaven, for the blessings that have been bestowed upon this country, upon our community. Father in heaven, we're grateful for the citizens of the community who take a role in giving us direction and help as we proceed forward. Father in heaven, as council and mayor, we feel an obligation to serve the people and serve the community in which we live. Tonight, as we deliberate some items on the agenda, we pray humbly for Thy Spirit to be here, to give us wisdom and guide us and direct us, that we may make decisions that are right and just. Father in heaven, we appreciate all that Thou does for us, and we say this humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. We really do want to make decisions that are the best for our citizens. And, you know, we're citizens of the United States, well, of the world, the United States, Utah, Cache County, and Providence. And it affects all of those things. So we'd like to do some council reports now. So we'll start with Jeff.
I don't know if I announced this or not, but I'd like to publicly apologize for dropping out of the race. So, good luck to those who are still in the race. Anyway,
Just by way of explanation, candidates are required to turn in a financial statement.
somehow I just spaced the submission of that financial disclosure, even though it was all zeros. But that's a state law that I'm going to have to go to the state.
And the consequences are
Yeah.
you're
But
kicked out of the
I'm
race.
okay. There's good candidates running, so the Cache County School District, they're proposing boundary changes and they'd love community input. They have a survey online on their website. I think the boundary changes mostly just affect Millville, Heritage Canyon, and Lincoln, but it also affects the dual language immersion programs. So French, 6th through 8th grade will go to the new middle school in Nibley. And Spanish will go to Mountain Crest. So
The new middle school is slated to start school
next
year
yeah, so this is-
2026.
Yeah, this is for the 26-27 school year.
Okay.
But they love community input.
How do they do that?
It's on their website.
Okay.
So, and you can see the boundary changes that they're making there. And the board will vote on that October 16th. And the only other thing was thank you for a wonderful sauerkraut days. I was glad that I was able to be there a lot more this year than last year. Ran the 5K and the mile, and the parade was great. So thank you. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Brent?
Well, while we're on the subject of the sauerkraut days, I thought it was wonderful. I enjoyed it very much. Enjoyed being a part of it 2 or 3 times during Saturday that I went down, as well as Friday night. It was a lot of people there. They enjoyed it very much. Thank you very, very much for a wonderful celebration. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Ryan and I have set up a meeting with Sandy Spendlove to prepare for some CERT training that is going to go forward as we continue to try and get our community prepared for emergencies. Again, we'll be doing some CERT training, and hopefully people will be taking interest in this training and help prepare themselves to deal with emergencies.
Can you define that for the audience? Maybe not everybody knows what that is.
It's a certified emergency response team, so that we work together. In the event there's a fire, earthquake, or something like that, this team comes together. We actually go to homes and determine if the home can be lived in. Because of the lack of people throughout to come and take care of an emergency, we actually work within our community and we see if the home is livable. If not, there's an X put on it, and we make sure that it has been looked at and determined whether it's habitable or not habitable. And so these are things that we do as far as CERT training. Look at your gas, your water situation, and also come back together to try and assess what resources we need. It's our first response in the CERT training. The other thing I'd like to mention is that Ryan and I have been talking about wildland fire interface, and the concern we have is we do have areas that could burn very easy and create a problem for our community, particularly up along the east side, but not only south end. There's homes spaced among open space that has dry grass in it. We encourage people to keep a defensible area, but we are concerned about interface. The county's concerned about our area as well. And so we would really hope that people would be very vigilant about not creating any things that could start a wildfire. And that even sometimes, like in Salt Lake, it included mowing grass with a lawnmower, where it burnt those apartments down. So be vigilant, be careful, and we'd like to see make sure that we don't have anything happening here in Providence. And I'd just like to make mention too that Ryan from the Bear River Health Department came out and took a water sample this evening for their sampling process. So anyway, that's about all I have to say.
Great, thank you. Carrie?
We can't thank Nicole enough times for the great job that she did with executing the Sauerkraut Days, and it was a pleasure to be a part of it. My role was working with the youth council and making sure that we had enough volunteers to man different stations. So the council did a fantastic job. They were there. They're so cute and well-mannered, and they manned the kids' craft booth both on Friday and Saturday. They mixed and served sodas at the movie in the park. They helped manage bingo, and they just provided some fun at the celebration. We officially kicked off the youth council year with a trip to Bear Lake last Monday, and that was also super fun and successful for them to get to know each other and to buy into what we do on the youth council. On Saturday, this coming Saturday, they are going to man a Top of Utah aid station. So they'll be helping out with that in the morning and then participating in the Apple Days parade in the afternoon in River Heights. So we're busy representing Providence, and the youth are just so fantastic. I continue to try to respond to citizen emails. I try to respond to everyone that I receive. So if I haven't responded to you, I probably didn't receive it. But I try to make myself available and to listen. I hope that there's never a feeling of you against us, because we are citizens of Providence, and that's why we ran for council, is because we care. And so I just never want to put on that feeling that at least I am not listening, and we are all doing our best to represent what we feel is in the best interest of citizens.
Thank you. David?
Thanks. Yeah, and speaking of the emails, we have some printouts of some emails that came through up here, and I'm just looking at the two. My name shows dcoons@providence.utah.gov, but it's actually my full name, David Coons. And so I'm glad these are up here because I didn't get them. So that speaks to basically what you were saying about that.
Well, you're talking about that. In order to be read in the meeting, they need to come to our official email address, which is Providence City, Utah at gmail.com.
I'll address, yeah. So anyway, but I will catch up in just a moment here. So, yeah, last week I met with Ryan. Instead of sitting in the office, we had the opportunity to kind of tour around, and that was fun. The nerdy side of me has always wanted to look in the random boxes that we see around Providence, and in this case, we opened up one of the big white. It's called a pond cabinet for the fiber setup, and that was pretty fun. So aside from the wasp nest inside, it was cool to see all the fiber wires coming together and being connected, and how messy and organized all at once it looks, and it's pretty cool. And then we saw some of the smaller ones that connects to. We toured around Meadow Ridge Park and came up with some ideas for Just Serve to add on, and so a couple projects there currently being approved on Just Serve. Hopefully those will be up in the next few days. I had a Just Serve project for Janelle. We were looking for 5K volunteers for Sauerkraut Days, and I think she got one at least off of Just Serve. I don't know that. I hope she got the rest of them, but yeah. Ended up with enough, but I don't think they all came from there. But anyway, and then between last meeting and this meeting today, we had Zollinger Park Bench benches painted around the baseball fields. August 8th, the cattle corral basketball stripes were done. A whole bunch of tree trimming in that park, which was cool. They had a whole big dump trailer of stuff they took out of there. And oh yeah, a bench got stained at Brager Park. That was all the same group on that August one, so that was pretty neat. We'll get some more going shortly. It was fun to participate in the Sauerkraut Days parade and throw candy at people, 2 people, depending how you look at it. And the drone show, I always think that's pretty awesome just for me. I took my kids and we had fun with that. Mosquito abatement, there are currently 2 human cases of West Nile virus in Cache County. They don't tell us which cities those are in, but they've been found. West Nile virus has been found in numerous cities around. The most recent ones were Wellsville, Hiram, Mendon, and Richmond, but they are in other areas, and I think it's just kind of a matter of time before it gets to Providence,
It's up here.
and could already be, but we'll see what the traps show. I have a meeting coming up in 2 days, and we'll see what else they tell us about that. We've had some citizens that have talked about the spraying and kind of run into that. The spraying is supposed to happen Wednesday nights here between dusk and midnight, and I understand they've been coming maybe a little bit earlier now. But it's Wednesdays. If you don't want to have your property sprayed for some reason or any reason, there is a form you can request on the Cache Mosquito Abatement District website, and you can fill that out. You have to do it every year, so it'll expire at the end of the season if you want that to be continuing. But that is an option for those who feel like they don't want that to happen in their neighborhood, or at least it'll happen in your neighborhood, but just not on your property. They can turn off the sprayer. So that's my report.
Great. Thank you. You can see our citizens, our council members are working on your behalf just to make sure that we're up on what's going on and what needs to be done. My report, just quickly, active with, we've been in meetings with UDOT. We're already talking about the legislative session coming up, working with the League of Cities and Towns. They're our lobbying arm for the cities to make sure that the legislature doesn't get carried away and pass laws that are not good for the cities. So just meetings in your behalf, that all the things that need to be taken care of as a city. But our biggest news is, of course, the Sauerkraut Days that happened. It was wonderful to have all of you support us and come to the events that we had. And of course, we couldn't do this at all without Nicole Bone. And when I call her on the phone, I tell Siri to call Nicole, and it says calling Nickel Bone. Oh, see? No one, leave me alone, go away. The event was a success. We started out on Monday with our can, and the most successful can hiding was on Friday. It took till afternoon. The rest of them, like Monday morning, they were at the office at 1:15, and someone had found it. But Friday afternoon, it took forever for people to find it. So that's kind of fun. I mean, that's why we do it, is that people get to go around and read the clues and learn something about the city that they live in. And so that's exciting. But the city supports the Sauerkraut, but it's really organized and put on by the citizens here. And makes me emotional. But when we all come together, it makes us stronger and better at what we do. And I always say, don't tell me what I can't do. help me with what I can. So the sauerkraut brings us together so we can do that. So I know not everybody likes sauerkraut. I probably wouldn't go too far to go find some, but I will eat it and I will taste it. And I gave some to my brother for his birthday. He's a chef in Salt Lake, and he called me and he said, "That is wonderful sauerkraut." So if you didn't get any, Bare Bottom Bottling Company is making another batch. So I think they almost ran out, didn't they? They were really close. So anyway, we're excited to have that consistency of having that sauerkraut that we're famous for. So I asked Nicole if she would please come and report the numbers so that you know how many people participated, and we'll publish some more of that stuff in the newsletter, but this is a quick and dirty. This is what we did this year versus what we did last. So you're on.
Or she has to cry, because I do not get nervous speaking in front of people, but my heart just pounds because I truly have grown to love this. So, and I have a passion for serving others and making people, everyone feel welcome and loved. Okay, what a year it was. I'm just going to go ahead and read this a little bit. This year, we kicked off Sauerkraut Days with Find the Can, and it was another huge success. This year, we decided, I can kind of summarize this. We decided to hide 2 cans this year.
A day. 2 cans a day.
2 cans a day, so a total of 10 cans. And I really didn't do much with this year. Jeanette Christensen and Amy Lenhart took over this and just thrived. It was amazing. I had a chance, I was sitting at the park late afternoon, I guess, when the can, and it was hidden down at the park. I had no idea. And it was such a joy for me to see these people just running, trying to find this can. And it's just, it was just the best. I don't know if any of you in this audience went to find the can, but it was pretty great. It was about 100 per can. They're guessing about 100 people went to find this can, to find all the cans per day. Not only does the one person get the prize, Jeanette and Amy fill it with little trinkets so that every child that comes to find that can or with their family gets something. And we thought that was a wonderful thing to do. This year we decided we have new committee chairs over pickleball. And Casey and Holly Egley took this over, and this also went amazingly well. I see a few people, I think, in the audience that participated in pickleball, and that's wonderful. In total, they decided to use both courts at Alma Lenhart Park and our new courts here at Zollinger Park. And between that, it was 64 people that we had for pickleball. That is.
As opposed to how many last year?
20. No, well, actually, we couldn't even have that many. It was, yeah. So it was triple what we had last year. We probably will be adding a third night next year for that. Friday was fabulous. We began with the parade. Our numbers were about the same as last year as far as participants and entries, but this year our city manager had a great idea of adding popsicles at the end, and that was a huge success. So we need to do that again next year. A big thank you to Kathy Griffiths for that, who oversees the parade each year and does a fantastic job. I don't know how many of you attended the parade or saw it, but we just have an awesome parade. And it's so fun for me to drive down and see those people on the sides, just enjoying each other and our beautiful community. I want to recognize Officer Richardson. He's the new officer over our city. And he is phenomenal from the get-go, from meeting him, just being there. And he just had so many officers there ready to help us. We also did a rerouting, and it worked. It worked so much better this year. Friday night was another highlight. As always, we did add a few new things. The kids' games, that from the beginning, that's what I wanted to strive for, is people can come and not have to empty their pockets to let their kids participate in things. So we had the art table that saw over 450 kids. The miniature golf course, all of those things were provided for through Sauerkraut Days. And it was just so fun to watch them go back and forth and just having a good time. Let's see. This was another thing that we decided to do. We used to provide a meal, and I know some people just love the turkey sauerkraut meal, but we did not have anybody that didn't love what we've been doing now. We had Ridgeline Booster Club. John Booth is phenomenal. He organized that, and we sold between the 2 nights. The first night was almost 900 meals he served. So well over probably about 1,400 meals in total between the 2 days. And that supports us, supports our kids. And that was, I think we're going to be continuing that next year. And a highlight for me, so you're going to get me to cry. Oh. A highlight for me every year, again, born and raised here, is to honor those amazing people that Providence and her people, right? So forever and always, it will be my favorite to be able to go and talk to the Grand Marshal for each year. This year we chose, as we actually opened it up to the public. We got nominations, and he had several. Gary Milburn was this year. This man was past mayor, past city council member, actually served mayors twice, one full term, and then served a partial term for a gentleman that served an LDS mission, and he stepped up and served. He was he's just a phenomenal guy that has served on the Lions Club and has done so many things in our community. And that's what it's about, is to honor those people and to be those people that want to serve our community. And that was very important to me, is that those people feel honored and loved. We also tried a new event this year at the talent show, Prov's Got Talent. At first, this was a little, I think Savannah Linhart was a little overwhelmed with, let's get people there. But I don't know if any of you attended in this room or online. Wow, that girl did an amazing job. We ended up pulling different participants in the last week, and we ended up with 11 total talents, 11 total participants, and then karaoke afterwards with about 5 or 6 more people. I also wanted to do a special thanks to Derek Clausen, our new committee member, that also handled all of the sound and everything for that. And I'm going too long. I apologize.
Okay.
And also the movie in the park, we had about 150 in attendance, give or take.
Yeah.
Saturday morning. This is big. Bear Welding sponsored our fun run this year, and they went above and beyond for us, not only with a cash donation to help out with prizes and things like that for the run. They also decided to design a cabbage. Every single participant got this awesome medal. And it was to see people's faces when they saw this, when we put it around their neck, was the coolest thing ever. But just a huge shout out to them. They didn't need to customize these. I mean, they went above and beyond. They had these painted and everything. So Bear Welding, shout out to them. As far as numbers go, it just was out of there's no comparison. I think last year we had a total of 56 participants, and this year well more than doubled that. James and Carrie Swink oversee that and did a phenomenal job, along with Janelle Seeley, who oversaw that and helped them. Saturday was wonderful. We had events all day long. We had the skate park. We wanted to do and help let people see the new skate park and really what it truly is. And Zach Shepard, the owner of Directive, did a fantastic job. I was on the phone with him earlier today, and he thought there was about 150 to 200 at a time and over 300 people watching and participating in that. Josh and Carrie Kirk oversaw bingo this year, and I think there was well over 100 people sitting there playing bingo.
And it was worth it.
Oh, it was. It was.
There were great prizes.
There were great prizes.
With that being said, we had over 50 vendors this year between food, and we do not charge for a vendor to be there, but we ask for a bingo prize. So that's super fun. Then we had the historic tour. There was about 30 people, give or take, that went on the actual van rides that were sponsored by Heritage Auto, but so many people. Ken Thigpen, George Wooten, Karen Hansen, and Wes Tyre were all there answering questions, and they did such a great job with providing our awesome heritage, our rich heritage. Sauerkraut sales. This is a big one. We sold over 1,000 jars of sauerkraut. It's a lot of sauerkraut. Shout out to our Bank of Utah, Cache Valley Bank, Directives, Soul Fitness, Herms, the Logo Shop, Next Meters, Bear Welding. Our biggest sponsor is Providence City. And I think ever since it started 4 years ago, or since I started, it was, kind of an adjustment to get used to, okay, being a separate nonprofit. But it's been wonderful. And the city, Ryan, Scarlett, all of you guys for participating. It's just been, we've collaborated, and it's just been so beautiful. Megan here at the city office, I cannot thank enough. She is incredible, her job, and also providing service for Sauerkraut Days. So I really appreciate that. The youth council did a great job. Living Tree Medical, if you have a chance, they were there. The actual owners and doctors were there for 2 days sitting at their booth for free.
And thank goodness we didn't have any emergencies.
Yes, yes. But if you get a chance, they also have their new location just across here from Macy's. I don't know what to say, but thank you for the opportunity that we get to do this. It's lovely to hear all the thanks to me, but it's such an awesome thing that we've been able to do for 4 years. Seeing the citizens step up every year is so beautiful. This year we had random people, just Rob and Brenda Dickey. I'll give a shout out to them, that sat there at the art table for 2 days. Megan Ted Erickson. Oh, man, there's just so many people. It's coming to my mind. Megan Ted Erickson usually run the arts table.
We even had somebody from Australia.
We did have someone. Yes. New
Came
Zealand.
to help.
Yes. And that's another thing that was neat for me. A couple from Germany was here hiking. They were going on a hiking trip, and they came because it was Sauerkraut Day, so they thought they'd come, and what a neat thing that was. We have got people from all over coming to our celebration to honor our city and celebrate our city, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Bear River Bottling wanted me to thank you for the opportunity that he has to do this and to bring this to our city, because without him, we would not have sauerkraut.
Right.
So that's
Health
been a
department
great
closed
thing.
us down years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And all of you, I mean, Jeff said, I mean, it was so beautiful. Every single one of you helped carrying the barrel down to my, anyway, just even the little things make a big difference. So I really appreciate it. And on a side note, we have new merch this year. If anyone would like some Sauerkraut Days merchandise, we have hats. I have our Venmo. There's so much more available. So just contact us if you need, if there's not a size here. But
Hey,
thanks.
I'm not used to having it called merch. Well, it was truly a success. It was wonderful. So thank you. If any of you in here would like to volunteer to help us next year, we would love that. And surely we have more than 11 people that have talent in Providence. So if you know somebody with talent, have them get a hold of Nicole. And yes, we want to do it. Actually, it would be nice if we had groups. If you know of groups that want to perform, we can stick a trailer out there and have them do that. But anyway, we loved having all of you there and being part of our community. So, Nicole, thank you for bringing us all together. Okay. I bet Roland wants to go.
And it's the third weekend of August, right? So next year, same
Same
week.
time, same
Third
station.
week of August.
So put it on your calendar and let's do something. Let's make it extra special. And again, it's for us. We're not advertising on KSL. We don't want people coming necessarily in droves like they have at Peach Days. We want this to be a community celebration. Do you want to say something else?
One more thing. Oh my gosh. The baseball game and
Oh, yes.
and our drone show. Wow. Those I totally until you said that. Shane Hansen, Austin, Ken, Shaler did an outstanding city
staff.
employees,
Yes.
staff did a wonderful job as they always do. And this year just it really went flawless. Shaler put together a baseball game as he does with all of I call them old school. I don't know.
They're a legacy team.
Legacy. There's a few. I recognize one of them in the back, but he didn't play, but our age. Anyway. They got out there and played and just really enjoyed it. Next Meters is next to Providence City, our largest sponsor, and they donated the drone show, and it was 400 or 500 people, easy, just in the ballpark watching that. So, anyway,
I know some people up in the north part of the valley, and one of the guys said he was out on his tractor, and he looked over and he thought, "What is that?" And it's clear up by, clear at the top of Utah, looking at and watching the drone show from way up there. So there are no
hopefully
bad
you'll enjoy
seats
it,
when it comes to the drone show.
for sure.
So it really was great. Thank you so much. Okay. Now we'll have the approval of the minutes. Thanks, Nicole. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from July 16th, 2025.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll
Motion
abstain,
carries.
just 'cause I wasn't there.
You're going to abstain. Thank you. So we need to note that, Ty. The next part on the agenda, and by the way, do all of you know how to get the agenda? It's on our website under the city council. So if you would like to get it, then you can just click on the links to get the things that we're talking about. At the beginning of the meeting, I always allow people, if they have a comment on things that are within our purview but are not on the agenda, we ask you to come forward. If you're here for a specific item on the agenda, then we will let you come up when it's time.
I'm Crystal Howe. I'm just here to say, first of all, sauerkraut was awesome. We were at the drone show. I got talked into 2 pickleball tournaments, not just one that I signed up for, but I got to play in both, got to meet the mayor and Nicole, did the parade. Want to thank you for what you've done with Meadow Lane. We kind of talked about our Meadow Ridge Park having issues with the track being kind of with the open, how would you describe it? Cracks that we needed, yeah, the cracks that we need to fix, they've been fixed. There's one still that's kind of rough that's going to need a little more work, but yeah, we appreciate that being done. I'm just here to talk about our concern about the change of the date for the city council meeting. We set out flyers because we were in believing that there's the 20th, so we had flyers made, delivered, had to flyers changed to the 19th, and then found out by coming into the city office on Monday, it's been changed back to the 20th. So a while back, about 2020, I was on a Zoom meeting. I found a piece of paper on the side of the road, And I kept watching it as I drove by, and I thought, who would litter there? Like, who would? So I just pulled off, and I went to go grab it in the weeds down on the ground, and I found out it was a public notice for a land from Providence City. And I was aghast. I thought, it's in the middle of the weeds. Like, how is anyone going to see this? And so I came to Providence City in a Zoom meeting, just saying, hey, I'm concerned. I went to the mayor, said I was concerned. And right after that, your A-frames came. And I really appreciated that because those A-frames are so visible, such a great change. And I really appreciated it.
And they don't blow off.
Yes. Well, this one was like zip tied, and I was like, but it was in the weeds, and I was like, this is at the bottom of a thing. And I thought A-frames are great, and I really appreciated that change. Just going forward, I did write an email and got a really good response from Providence City indicating that they recognize the concern and are concerned with that, and I appreciated that. They indicated, the A-frames and other things they would do. What we did appreciate too is when we came in and talked with you on Monday that you sent out a text message to everybody. And we appreciated that too. I wasn't sure if that would have happened regardless, but I just like to encourage going forward. We had a neighbor jokingly say, it's more likely for me to know that a ball field's been closed than whether or not the city council meeting's been changed. And I thought if the city council is gonna be changed, it might be wise in the future to put it out in a public notice more than you stated here, you do it in your online, like you have to publicly post it. That's how we were concerned because we had seen it on the 19th and checked the public post. But I don't know if everyone is aware of that.
Yeah.
And so I
That's
think
true.
the text option was a really good one, and I really appreciated that. And so going forward, just like changing in the A-frame, maybe look at that policy or maybe look at how that happens. I'm a nurse, and so I got Tuesday off because I had to change my schedule. I got Wednesday off because I was the 20th, which is what I thought it was. Then it's like, oh, it's the 19th, so I got that day off. And then today I didn't have it off. And if we hadn't had two patients cancel, I may not have made this meeting today. And so recognizing that, a Monday notice is a little trickier. So just giving us a better option. And I appreciate your thoughts on that.
We normally don't change our meeting.
Yeah. I
And
thought
and
the
we
same
had to change it because we were going to
Elections.
have the election, but then it turned out that we didn't have it.
thing. Right.
So apologize for the confusion,
Yeah.
but we would have sent out that email anyway because we wanted to make sure everyone had that information.
Good.
But-
Well, I appreciate and hope going forward we'll continue that same
But
way.
we'll always take
And again,
feedback.
love the
Thank you.
A-frame. So thanks for your willingness to listen and change.
Thank you. Anyone else on an item that is not on the agenda?
My name is Mike Castro. I live on the bench, Little Baldy. I've been besieged by nasty grams about violations, and I'm a violator of snow. What was written on all these violations, I've been guilty of. The last one I got, though, was about obstruction on the left turn that it couldn't see over a weed about this high. If you're in a go-kart, you can still see over that weed I was written up on. It concerns me because there's a lot of violations going on up there at this point. There's a lot of construction and so forth. I've had 6 maybe violations in the last year. I just hope I'm not getting picked on. I just want to build community trust. I let Mary know that it would be corrected in 2 weeks, and 4 days later, she sent me a pink slip. So I don't know what's going on, but I have my concerns that if you walk any direction of my house there is many violations of sidewalks because there's construction. My other concern is limit lines in Providence. When you come to stop signs, a lot of times they're obstructed by trees. And if you don't know the area, if you're out of the area, I've had many friends of mine visit me, and they run stop signs because there's no limit lines. One such intersection is at Sierra and Spring Creek Parkway. If you're headed west, there's trees that obstruct the stop sign, and there's no limit line. There's plenty of kids that play there on their bikes and so forth, and I just don't want an accident to happen because that line cannot be seen. And there's several other instances in this city. I think limit lines are very important. I guess I'm from California. I'm used to limit lines. But anyways, that's all I got to share with you today. I just hope that if that these notices that I get, that everybody's treated the same, and I hope I'm not just being pointed out. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. We'll close that portion of the meeting, and we'll go to item number 2, ordinance 05-2025 Timberbrook rezone. Providence City Council will review and discuss and may take action on an ordinance that rezones parcel number 02-096-0048, located in the general area of 314 West, 100 South, Providence, Utah, from agriculture to R16. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on July 9th and recommended to the City Council that we reject the rezone as requested. We covered this last council meeting and put it off until the next council meeting to give everyone a chance to take a look at it. Scarlett, are you covering this one, or Ryan?
This isn't a public hearing, but I can.
I think from the staff, we've presented what we have. We can summarize anything you'd like. It is a proposed rezone. I think it's still from proposed to go from agricultural to R16. Is that applicant? Is that correct? Okay. So yeah, nothing has changed on the application, and it's just a continuation from the council. I think the staff have presented. We're happy to present anything more. But I don't know that we have anything more other than just what has previously been presented and in the agenda. So,
Okay.
Would you like anything more from us?
No. I think we'll go ahead and let.
I just had a question for him.
Yeah.
So this is the second time it's been brought here. I mean, the third time because we bumped it to this third time.
Let's call it the second time because the previous one was a
Right.
previous application. But yes, the second time, yes, correct.
Okay, and I was just curious if you had any more information from the first time and the second time, where the first time the planning commission approved it and the second time they didn't approve it.
Well, and they were recommending body, but you're right. The first time they recommended approval of the R16. The second time they recommended rejection of the R16. I think that is some of the change in who was present at each of the meetings. They have a 7-member body, and you get a few change and some additional comments, and it changed their thought there. The whole reason and direction, I don't know that I could speak directly for them, but there was some different commission members there, some other things that they had discussed, and I think they decided that rejecting that. Of course, that came on the heels after the council had rejected it, so that also played into the rejection of them. They had seen it, said, "Oh, the council has rejected this." I'm sure that also played in. So,
Okay.
Does that answer?
Yeah, thanks.
I want to speak.
Do you want to come to the podium?
If we could, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Dallin Tolman with Timberbrook Homes. There have been a couple small changes on our end for this, so I would like to bring that to your guys' attention of just some different things that we plan on doing that are different from the previous time. First of all, I appreciate your patience. I was gone this last month. We weren't planning when we set out to have to come back a second time, so my wife and I made plans, but this is the third time that we are back here to discuss this rezone. We initially went to the Planning Commission and we had a unanimous recommendation for approval, and then we had that split vote City Council meeting. When we reapplied, I was out of town. From my understanding of the Planning Commission, it was, again, a split. They were wanting to see something in the in the line of like a development agreement or a deed restriction or something to, I guess, guarantee that we were going to do what we were planning on. But we do want to kind of discuss some of the plans that we have going forward. We still feel that this is a great development for a number of reasons. Even though this is our third time, I wish we have had more time with you guys to discuss, and we've met multiple times with the staff, but still I would love to talk more with the council members to get a better idea of what it is that you guys are wanting here. From everything that I've been able to gather in these numerous meetings with staff and council members, the city is wanting mainly to guarantee that they are able to get decent sized lots. They want decent sized lots. They also are wanting, from everything that I've been able to tell through the city, through general plan initiatives and everything else that have been passed, that they do want a through street right there. But let me be clear that this is a rezone. This shouldn't have anything to do with a through street conversation at this point. I know that there has been some public outreach in that regard. You want large lots, you want a through street. You really want to maintain and preserve Providence City's integrity right there. All of those things are exactly what we are wanting as well. From the very beginning, we wanted to be doing larger lots. We've had to, by necessity of the lot width requirement, go for a tighter zoning. I know that's raised some concerns, and that has really probably been our biggest hurdle from what I've gathered. We've had comments like, they're writing a blank check to the developers. That's probably been our biggest hurdle going forward. That I think there is a notion that it's possible that we may not do what we are saying we will, or that I may get hit by a train tomorrow and somebody else will come along and do something different and squeeze in 6,000 foot lots and make it an unsightly, unattractive community right there. In our conversations with public members after council meetings, they're not opposed to the concepts outside of the through street. They're not really opposed to anything that we're doing. They're fine with the lot sizes. They're fine with the development. They're only opposed to the through street idea, which is on the general plan. Once again, not really part of the discussion at this point. To overcome this obstacle, talking with city staff, meeting with them multiple times, and we are willing at this point just to prove that we want to do work here. We really do want to preserve the integrity. We want to protect you guys, and we're willing to do a voluntary deed restriction on the property that will require us to maintain a lot minimum requirement still in compliance with all the ordinances of the R16 zone, but recorded on the deed, making sure that we really can't do any other concept. There's no other way you can cut it. We have, according to talking with the city staff and city attorney, they recommended that we write this into the purchase contract. That way it's protecting the sellers a little bit, that if we do get the rezone and we close on the property, it will be recorded on the lot. And I can pass this out if that's okay to pass out.
I'd like to see it, sure.
This is our signed addendum. I can read this over Stan as well.
Put this one, put it right. Okay.
For the audience, this is addendum number 3 to a real estate purchase contract with the sellers here, between us and the sellers. And the following terms are hereby incorporated as part of the real estate purchase contract. It says, buyer and seller hereby agree that, as a condition of this transaction, the property shall be subject to a voluntary deed restriction to be recorded at closing, which shall run with the land and be binding upon all successors and assigns. Basically, anybody that might come after me. Said deed restriction shall require that, upon any subdivision or development of the property, all residential lots created shall have a minimum lot size of 9,250 square feet. This particular number was derived because the road is coming in off-centered. If you remember the initial concept, we had planned to kind of jog it over, but some of those very first lots on the right-hand side are a little smaller, even though our typical lot is over 10,000 feet. This restriction shall be enforceable by the City of Providence, Utah, and shall not be removed, amended, or modified without the prior written consent of the city. The whole purpose of this is to make sure, first of all, that everybody gets what they want. The city gets what they're looking for. They're able to sleep at night knowing that we cannot, our hands are tied, we cannot come back and do any other 6,000 foot lots. We're not going to be able to come in here and do funky layouts. We're not going to be able to do some U-shaped road and circumvent the system, or do some sort of bait and switch where we get the rezone and we sell it to somebody else, and you know, our hands are clean, or whatever that might look like. We hope that by doing this, we can show that we do have the best of intentions to make this a beautiful, functional, well-fitting community. Along those same lines, I did want to share something really briefly I thought was very befitting the situation. On Monday, I got an email from, I won't share her name. She gave me full permission to share it, but I don't know if she wants her name shared. We got an email wondering, she basically was saying, hey, we're looking at building a home in the area. We saw that you had this on the agenda. We want to know if it's been approved and if you're going to move forward. And I said, hi, thank you for reaching out. We have not yet received approval for the rezone of this particular parcel in Providence. It's actually on the docket for this Wednesday City Council meeting at 6 p.m. The City Council members have not seemed overly enthused with the affordable single-family housing that we are planning to put here, and are pushing us towards larger, slightly more expensive lots and homes. If you're interested in the property here, we'd love your input at the council meeting Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Let me know if you'd like any more details on that City Council meeting. She responded and said, that's interesting. It seems like people these days are gravitating more towards smaller homes and yards due to the rising costs of housing, but also because they want to have time to pursue other interests. We are those people. We moved up here from Bountiful because we wanted to live in an affordable country environment. So we purchased a condo in Nibley for our college-age kids to live in, and then rented a small apartment for ourselves in Providence to stay at while we build a small, single-level home. I am surprised that some of the board members are against this development. It is not as though you are proposing to build condos or townhomes, nor an oversized master plan community. It is just a small parcel of land that would bring in a handful of families like ours into a great neighborhood. Please keep us posted on the outcome, and if all goes well, we would be interested in learning more about your plans for this development. Best of luck. This is a perfect example of a lot of our buyers and why we really exist as a business. Our main focus is providing a lot of value to those people who are not able to afford a half-acre lot. They're not able to afford a really big home, but they still want to live the American dream. We provide that for them in affordable housing, relatively affordable as can be had in a single-family detached. A lot of our home buyers are first-time home buyers. They're families moving from townhomes to a single-family home. They are elderly or empty nesters wanting to settle down and have no steps. And we really try to cater to people that are in all situations and circumstances of life. I know that the city does get a lot of initiative for affordable housing. I know that this is, like I said, quote unquote, affordable housing. But it does allow a lot of people to get into homes where they otherwise wouldn't. My wife and I right now are living in a home. It's a 1,500 square foot home on a 6,089 square foot lot in Logan. It's not everything that we've ever dreamed of, but it's something that we can afford. It's what we can live in, and at this time of our lives, it is our dream for us at this point. Our goal with this development is to give those opportunities to the people of Providence and people moving into Providence, and to protect the city's integrity, the seller, make sure that we can create a win-win here. Once again, this is 200 feet away from a townhome development. I think in the future, if pressures were to arise from the state on affordable housing, it's very likely that this could be pushed into being something much more than what we're proposing right now. I think this is a perfect opportunity to preserve this location into a neighborhood that does fit really well in that transitional area. But that's all that we really have in terms of news for differences in what we're proposing this time. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense why we're coming back with the same rezone.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think what I'll do is read these letters first. We got some emails from people, and I'll read those, and then I'll allow the audience to make statements. would like to keep it at 2 minutes for each person. And if somebody else said the same thing, please don't say it again. We'll be here till 10 o'clock at night. So we want to be here as long as we need to solve this issue. But if you would be sensitive to not continuing to repeat the same thing. So this is from Terry Dunkley. Dear city officers, how are you? I just wanted to let you know some of our feelings regarding the rezone across the street to where I live. And since I cannot attend the meeting tonight, I wanted to express them to you ahead of time. During the recent past, we've seen our fair share of increased density in traffic. We're concerned that increased traffic will continue to escalate as the park to our west is improved. If the adjacent property is densely populated with homes, the traffic on 100 South Street will become very unsafe. Just west of the park, there are townhomes and condominiums very densely situated with a park and pool and insufficient parking. The street is often full of children, pets, and pedestrian traffic. I have concerns for their safety when I drive through 100 South to my home. While I recognize the importance of growth and progress within our community, this particular rezone presents serious concerns. I understand the property owners south of this property also have safety concerns, but we especially feel concerned if the project's only ingress and egress are 100 South, directly across from the park and adjacent to the already congested townhome condominium area. We feel the impact of our property would be negative for all the above reasons, and increased density would most likely bring down our and our neighbors' property values. Homeowners in this neighborhood have invested in maintaining their properties. The park alone will increase the use of 100 South Street to capacity in safety. For these reasons, I strongly urge the council to deny this rezoning request. Thoughtful growth and development are important, but we must be balanced with the capacity of existing infrastructure and preservation of property values. Thank you for your consideration of the residents' concerns. I trust that you will take these issues into account when making your decision. I have had trouble sending this to the mayor and council. Would you be able to help me by sharing this with them? Next one is from Jay and Margaret Hicken. As I understand, the meeting to be held August 20th is for public hearing and for the council to vote yay or nay to change the property at 314 West 100 South, currently zoned R16 to R112. Such a zone change would allow high-density housing. That is not correct.
It's backwards.
It's backwards. So, as I recall, considerable time and effort was spent developing the master plan, which specifies that high-density housing should be between property zoned for commercial and property zoned agricultural housing. The plan, agricultural/housing. The plan has allowed that very thing to take place, which in our view is very good for Providence City. We're opposed to changing the zoning to allow high-density housing between the current neighborhoods and traditional homes. This is one from Deborah Monday. Dear Council and Zoning Commission members, we would like to share our thoughts on the rezoning of the agricultural property just north of 325 West in Providence City. I know everyone involved is trying to protect their personal interest in this matter. Providence City landowners and developers and the established neighborhood taxpayers must all come to an agreement that can serve the interest of all parties. We, Bill and Deborah Monday, live at 325 West, 288 South, and have residents of this property and have been residents of this property for 20 years. Our street is a beautiful place to live with an amazing walking park at the end. Presently, there are 8 homeowners in the neighborhood, and the street dead ends at the property in question. It is a quiet and safe place to live on a narrow street of 32-foot width. This means, for example, the garbage cans must be placed on one side of the street in order for the garbage truck to be able to collect the receptacles. I believe all properties are presently zoned R110 except for the lot just adjacent to the land in question, and that is zoned R112. The neighborhoods just east of 100 South, I believe, are zoned R112 also. Understanding that growth is inevitable, please consider at least maintaining the surrounding zoning for this property in question. Safety should always be our number one concern when planning further development of this area. The proposed zoning is an R16 with 18 to 21 homes with a possible price range from $450 to $500. The single-family homes with a one-car garage, families with young children or teenagers parking on the street will be at risk with higher traffic through street and minimal assigned parking. We realize change and growth go hand in hand, but growth without thoughtfulness of the surrounding neighborhood lot sizes might not protect the character, property value, safety, open spaces, and quality of life that has been established for the last 25 years. Please consider these concerns while planning this rezoning. Thank you for your consideration, Bill and Deborah Mundy. This one is from Maren Aller. Dear Mayor, Alder, and council members, I'm writing to share my concern about the rezone request. The property at 314 West 100 South from agricultural to R16 residential, which is scheduled for a vote on August 20th. This proposal does not follow the zoning master plan that the city has already adopted, which designates this area as R112. The master plan exists for good reason, to guide growth in a way that fits the long-term vision for Providence. Changing course now in a way that increases density far beyond what was planned would set an unsettling precedent. If approved, this rezone would create a much higher concentration of homes than the surrounding neighborhoods, which is currently characterized by larger lots and more open space. It would even lower nearby property values, add more cars to a narrow road that already feels tight. With Meadow Ridge Park right here, the children already walking and playing in the area, additional traffic poses very real safety concerns. For these reasons, I do not support this rezone and respectfully ask that you vote against it. Providence can and should grow, but needs to happen in a way that honors the city's established plans and protects the character and safety of our neighborhoods. Thank you for listening and for the time and effort you dedicate to serving our community. This one is, okay, I've already read this one from Jay Hicken. Okay.
It was just 4.
I will allow comment. 2 minutes, please. And please don't repeat what other people have said. Would you get me the sign-in sheet, please? So we have general comments by lots of people, but none for the public hearing. Yes.
It's not a public hearing.
So this is not a public hearing.
It's not advertised as a public hearing. It's a public meeting
Okay.
that you're allowing people to talk, but it is not a public hearing because Ty did not.
Advertise it as that.
Right.
And that the public hearing for these is held at planning commission.
Right. And so they've had an opportunity to do that,
Yeah, I mean, you can
Okay.
take comment on your public
Right.
meeting, but.
but it's
the
not a
actual-
public hearing. I'm sorry, I used the wrong vernacular. Okay. So, I'll just start at the top of the list. Mike Glasgow, is it? I already spoke. Okay. Kimberly Snow.
Good evening, Mayor Alder and council members. We thank you for your service. Thank you so much for your time tonight. And it's
State your
obvious-
name just for.
Okay, it's obvious the passion that you have for our community. So thank you. My name's Kimberly Snow, and myself with my neighbors have come here to respectfully ask you to uphold the R112 zoning designated in Providence 2020 adopted master zoning plan for the property located at 314 West 100 South. We have also collected signatures of 138 of our neighbors who also oppose the zoning change.
Thank you.
We want to make it very clear that this is not opposing growth. We understand that growth needs to happen, and we don't blame people for wanting to come to Providence, this great community. We are not opposing growth, and we're not opposing the sale of the property. That is not why we're here. But this is about consistent and thoughtful planning that does align with the community's shared vision for Providence, and it keeps in line with the planning process. Thank you.
Thank you. Daryl Glenn?
Hi, my name is Daryl Glenn, and like's been spoken, we appreciate the forum. And I got to say one thing, Brent, you give the opening prayer, and I never get an answer on the phone. The master zoning plan, developed with extensive community input, designates this area as R112. However, we were recently shown a map indicating that Providence City changed the designation for this lot to R16. After the land across the street, which had previously been zoned for higher density, was purchased to expand Zollinger Park. It is important to note that the lot under discussion and the lot across the street are not comparable simply because they face one another. By altering the master plan, in this way the city has created an impact that now affects not just one neighborhood, but two. Since this change was not brought before the community for a vote, nor was it brought before the Planning and Zoning Commission, we believe that you must consider other options, including those being presented tonight by the neighborhoods directly affected. Once zoning is changed, it is extremely difficult to prevent the resulting increase in density and traffic. We ask that you protect the integrity of the plan and that you and the community work so hard to create.
Thank you. Brent Budge?
Hi, my name is Brent Budge. Thank you for your time and your guys' service. If rezoned, the development could trigger the extension of 325 West to 100 South. The Transportation Master Plan leaves these details to the Planning Commission, meaning the council wouldn't have a later vote on the street connection. This would likely increase cut-through traffic in a quiet residential and park area, creating safety risks for children, pedestrians, and cyclists. We ask that you consider how this rezone could change traffic patterns for decades. R16 zoning is significantly denser and out of character with the surrounding R110 and R112 neighborhoods. Even in nearby R110 zones, most homes are built on lots larger than the minimum size, showing that larger lots are more normal here. Maintaining larger lots protects our neighborhoods, character, safety, open space, and quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you. Doug Snow?
Hi, my name's Doug Snow, and I appreciate the opportunity and also your guys' time and service. The median cost for homes in Providence City for an R16 currently is $480,000, which does not meet the state standard of affordable housing, the metric that's been defined in previous city council meetings. Home sales for the home sale data for Providence shows that R16 median price is $480,000. R110 median price is $495, and R112 median is $505. The difference in price between an R16 and an R112 is about 5%, meaning smaller lots don't significantly improve affordability. In Utah, moderate home housing is typically defined as households earning up to 80% of the median gross income for their area, spending no more than 30% of their income on their mortgage. This means for Cache County, affordability would be a house payment of $1,600 per month. These homes being proposed for Providence would not hit the affordability metric. When you look at the number of homes that have been sold in each zoning, it is apparent that R112 homes are the preference. In fact, higher density can reduce adjacent property values, especially in established neighborhoods such as ours. We support the mayor's goal of affordability, but the data shows smaller homes can be built on larger lots. Affordability depends more on square footage and finishes than lot size. Providence is already on track to meet its share of the governor's starter home target without this rezone. This means we can protect the neighborhood standards and still meet the housing goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris Riggs?
Chris Riggs. Hi.
Hi.
Here, want you guys
You need to
take-
be closer to the mic.
Jeez. Want you guys to take into account, so Meadow Lane Park, whatever they call it, the sign. Anyway, it's a pedestrian bicycle park, access only. 3 parking lots is it for the park. So putting it through the adjacent property to go R16, higher traffic, your pedestrian park, we have issues with the kids playing because the park is right next to the street. The next is infrastructure ability. The water line actually goes to the south side of the property, which either the builder or the city, in order to have the housing, is going to have to move that water line one way or the other. I do not know who's in charge or who's going to have to front that bill for the pre-existing water line going through. That's it. Thanks.
Thanks. Holly Budge?
Thank you. And thank you for your time tonight. My name is Holly Butch, and I just wanted to kind of reference back to some of the previous conversations that have already been had, past deliberations, and some of the points that have been raised by you as council members. David, for example, you've mentioned parking and density issues in other R16 developments in Providence, which would also be a concern for us in this proposed neighborhood. Carrie, you've mentioned your 3-part test, which includes the master plan, adjacent zoning, and planning commission input, and all of those tests fell in this situation. Brent's mentioned safety concerns, which we're concerned about. You've also pointed out the developer wouldn't be required to follow the design presented to obtain that R16 designation. We appreciate their offer tonight to make that addendum, but still we were concerned like you that you mentioned a blank check for the builder. Also wanted to remind the council that the planning commission did recommend denial by a 4-to-1 vote. We can say that it's maybe because the different council members were commission members were here, but I also think it was because the neighborhood showed up, which hadn't been informed previously. So we'd ask you to stay consistent with your own concerns with the planning commission's recommendation and stay with that R112 zoning as has been proposed. So thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Glenn?
Kathy Glenn, hi.
Hi.
Thank you for
Pull
your
it down so
time.
that we can hear you.
Is that better? Okay. I'm sorry. I know you said if it's been said before, don't repeat it. I'm just going to close. A closing appeal. Thank you again for your service and for listening to the residents. We respectfully ask you to uphold the R112 zoning in the general plan. This decision preserves neighborhood character, aligns with community planning, and still allows for growth without unnecessary density. Please vote no on R16 and yes on R112, and stand with residents in protecting Providence's long-term vision. Thank you.
Thank you. Rex and Tammy? You're going to pass, okay? Mark?
Do I get to come up twice if I'm on there again?
Well, where's Gina?
Mark Thompson. Each of you, except for one of you, signed a resolution to increase the capability to provide affordable housing. It's part of the state mandate to adjust zoning to accommodate affordable housing. And your signatures are on there. I don't know if you read it before you signed it, but it talks about changing the zoning to help developers do exactly what this developer is doing. The last meeting at Planning and Zoning, Joe Chambers was concerned about this particular development being R6 and then being sold and a whole bunch of homes being jammed in there under the R6 rule. I see that this developer who wants R6 and is committed to keep the lots at 9,250 square feet. It'll be recorded at the courthouse. These are bigger lots than some of the lots just west of that piece and the park. That subdivision back in there, there's one that's 6,000, there's one that's 7,000 square feet. So under the mandate with the state, which you're all very well aware of, and what you've obligated yourself to do, this application fits the bill. I think the traffic and the through streets and the parking, that's a problem everywhere. Just try to get from Logan to anywhere. Traffic is bad. I need to ask Mrs. Snow about the petition that was signed. I had 2 employees, Hispanic, that were at Walmart that were approached by a woman, I don't know who it was, and asked to sign a petition that they didn't even know what was. They signed it. Were those signatures collected? Were you at Walmart? Okay, that's all. That's all I need to know. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Does Gina want to say anything? Okay. Olivia Webb.
Hi, I'm Olivia Webb. Never done this before, so I'm a little nervous. But I actually grew up in Providence. I've grown up in Providence, born and raised, actually just the road adjacent to this road. And I just have to say, the ability to grow up in Providence, the place that made me who I am, was such a gift. And I know there's a lot of other issues, and I can see both sides. I've tried to put myself in these people's shoes. But like for me and my husband, we can't afford most of the places in Providence. And so giving people a chance to be able to do that, that are in our shoes, that have those kids who get the chance to be able to grow up in such a wonderful place with these amazing people, like I did. I just want that to be considered, and I hope that you will see the vision and be able to, even with all of the things that have been brought up, to see the positives that this could bring to Providence City. Thank you.
David Tolman or Dallin Tolman? Okay. Natalie Howe? Is that Crystal you have with you?
Yes, that's
no,
Crystal.
I mean this one.
This one. this is Cedric. This is my little one. Yeah, so my name is Natalie Howe. It's hard not to get emotional, but I think it's just because we all care. We all care a lot. I feel a little flustered because I'm also new to this, and I feel like I made a mistake. But I just also want to say, similarly, we have a house here in Providence, and we love being here in Providence, and we also want to think of the smart growth. It's just a little scary because having that blank check, it's happened twice already, and so have nothing against this wonderful couple who want to do the buildings, but it's nerve wracking. And so I just also would like to say that I disagree, and I would like this to be zoned for an R112. Thank you.
Tell me, this has already happened. What do you mean by that?
I have heard from a previous citizens that they came up with a plan, that a plan was presented for homes, and they said this or where the homes would be. And then once the zoning happened, then they changed the plan completely and they packed a lot of homes and it became high density housing is my understanding. So this is just my understanding. I could be wrong, but that's what I have heard from other citizens, from talking to people in my community as well.
We need to straighten that out. We haven't had anything like that, have we, Scarlett?
Not that I'm aware of.
I met with a developer once who presented something that was completely different than what he built.
And so I'm sure, like, this seemed like a wonderful, wonderful couple. I just don't know them as well as I would like to. And that's just kind of nerve wracking.
Well, they're talking about a deed restriction on it, so. Okay. Scarlett?
We did have a developer that, that development, back then we could do it, we can't do it now, but back then, even on single-family homes, we could have them tell us what kind of architecture, what kind of siding, all of that was going to be on it. They built to their plan as far as the number of homes, the size of homes. What they did was they changed some of the exterior from, I honestly can't remember what they changed.
Brick and that.
They changed some exterior.
Yeah.
So
Brick versus siding.
So they did change it, they didn't change the homes. They didn't change the number of homes. They didn't change the size of lots. They changed the exterior of the homes. That's what was changed. And as soon as they realized what had happened, they took some steps to fix it. Part of why they changed it was people wanted different exteriors. And then we actually started a different process so that we could make sure that they kept the right exteriors. But that was on the exteriors. It was not on the plan or the layout of the development.
Okay.
The one that I'm talking about is the townhomes by Judge's Car Wash, that he said he wasn't going to go across the pond, that he couldn't, that he was, going to landscape all of that.
No, that was approved in the preliminary plan. Those extra, there was always on both sides of the thing.
So when he met with Janelle and I, and it's the only time I've ever met with a developer, he told us something completely different.
I don't know why he told you that, because that was
because he
approved.
wanted our yes vote.
Oh, maybe.
I can tell you why he told us.
I don't know. All I can tell you is that even if we wouldn't have wanted to let him do that, because there was a gap between the time that they came in and the time they got approved through the time that they came in. But it was on the preliminary plat. And so he built those according to the preliminary plat that was approved before the first phase went in. Both those phases were approved. The preliminary plat for both of those phases was approved at the same time. And we tried to get the landowners to work together so that there would be that through street, but it wasn't possible. So then they had to wait until they could get the permission from the Corps on wetlands and things like that before they could put the road across. But those townhomes were planned right from the get-go.
Yeah, so he told us a not truth, and has made me leery.
Well, I can see why that would. But yeah, they were planned.
If I may add just one thing, seeing the plans and also seeing that there's that water line, it's not too hard for me to see how it could be changed so that you don't have to move that water line, and that's an enormous cost to move it. And so that's also makes me a little just concerned. And so I'd rather side on the error of caution and make it a R112 rather than a R16, so that
That's an irrigation ditch, and that's Blacksmith Fork, and they would.
No, there's a
There's a culinary water line through there.
Oh, is there? Okay.
water line going through, and so you'd have to move it over because it would go directly underneath where the homes are being built.
What I just need to remind everyone of is this is zoning.
Yes.
We have not seen a preliminary plat.
Okay.
And that will go to the Planning Commission.
Okay.
So,
Thank you. That's
Thank
everything
you.
that I have. Thank you so much.
thanks. Crystal Howe?
In the previous meeting we had during the city council, they did indicate that they were like, well, maybe we could consider an R18 or maybe we could consider something different, making me realize that there are some options. Obviously, they've thought about it as well. Putting the zoning up. I forgot to say my name is Crystal Howe. It is. And then I want to talk about first-time homeowners. I think we just live in a different world right now with inflation the way it is. My daughter, who owns a home in Providence, owns a 100-year-old home that they've had to work with sweat equity and like destroy and rebuild on their own with sweat equity what they've been working on. They actually lived in our basement for a period of time in order to be able to get into said home. I just think the idea of a starter home in that area at $480,000 is really probably not, I mean, it's maybe a low income, they're calling it low income or affordable housing. I don't know that if you look at the cost difference that we talked about, that it really is. The City Planning Commission, like Holly said, we weren't told, there was no A-frame at the first planning commission in front of our street, which would be included. My daughter and I were going to a softball or a t-ball game for my grandson here, and we noticed the A-frame, and she said, Mom, she took a picture, she says, Mom, there's an A-frame saying that it's gonna affect your street. And so we showed up and complained, and we were concerned that we weren't notified. The next planning commission, we were notified. 325, which is a good portion of the people here speaking, showed up and started our concerns. So when you asked why the difference between the two planning commission votes, I really think that's a good portion of why it was changed as well. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Dylan Crystal? Or tell me I'm sorry, what's the last name? I can't.
Crystal, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like a first name, but my sisters.
Two first names.
They have two first names, but for me, it's. I just want to say I live in the high dense, whatever the
Condominiums?
Yeah, the visionary homes. I live in like one of the apartments. Me and my wife live there, and like that's a great place for us. It's like fun to see the little kids run around. I don't ever feel like it's scary that they're running through the street. I think everyone's aware that the kids are playing, so I don't think that's like a huge stress as far as making it higher density, because I don't even feel like that's super high density, like scary for the kids. But then another thing is just that would be a great place where me and my wife would be able to live in a awesome community. We just are super busy. I don't have a ton of time to take care of a huge lawn and take care of a bunch of stuff, but we would like to have a little more room for like kids when we had kids, for them to have a little bit of yard to run around and play in, and that would be a perfect kind of area. We love Providence. We love living on the south end of town. I've lived on the south end my whole life, and I love the community. I love the people. There's just not a lot of homes that are, if you don't want to live in a townhome, there's not really that in between of kind of the transition home. So like just areas like that, or an opportunity to live in a home like in that area would be awesome for me and my wife. So
Thank you. Dina Price? Dina Price? Okay. Okay. Linda Chappell? How do you say it? Chapel.
I just wanted to say thank you very much for filling in the big cracks in the side walkway at the park, but don't forget the one that's really a big mess. Needs to be repaired.
Okay.
It can't be filled
On the
in
list.
with tar.
It's on the list.
It has to be patched. That's why it wasn't filled with tar. It has to
All
have
right.
an asphalt patch.
Thank you.
Linda,
for
thank
bringing
you.
it to us. We're working on it.
Anna Wiedmeyer? Thank you. Gloria Nadald? Okay. And same meaning you're for or opposed? Okay. Lexi Hansen? You're good too? Okay. Carrie John? Kenny John? Okay. Well, that makes it really easy. Okay. Thank you.
Nate?
Yes, I do see that. I'm sorry, Nate. I started in the lines.
Yeah, sorry there wasn't any room. Nate Worthen, I live in the Fox Ridge neighborhood of Providence. I'm very proud of our citizens. It takes a lot of courage to come here and speak to people they don't know, both for and opposed, everyone. I thought it was really wonderful. I want to mention, no, this isn't personal to anyone. Rex is entitled to pursue the highest price possible for his land. Eric and Carly John of Lion Rock Real Estate are excellent real estate professionals. I looked at Timberbrooks development. They have an excellent building reputation. They're great developers. They haven't built anything in Providence, and I don't know if they built anything in Cache Valley. Their current developments are in Garland. And in June, they said, you know, we'll follow the market, but we've had a lot of traction in the sub $450,000 price range. Well, I think that's because their homes are in Garland, which according to Realtor.com, Homes.com, Zillow.com, is 26% less on median home prices than Providence. So those homes, even if they built the exact same homes and brought them here, they will be more expensive than $450,000. In the June meeting, I thought there was great conversation with the city council. Mr. Speth, you referenced changing times, shrinking demand for large lots. Dallin echoed your sentiment. So I just looked at the data. Out of 45 homes sold between 6,000 square foot lots and 14,000 square foot lots, 21, half of those were R112. There's plenty of demand for R112. That certainly isn't the issue here. From an affordability standpoint, I'm concerned that if we approve any zone less than R112, we're really betraying the long-term planning process that the city has in place. There's a process for a general plan. All but I think Mr. Nebaker signed that plan and said, this is what we want. This is the vision for our city. And then to change our mind here in 2025 is a problem. It tells the city, our residents, well, we don't really have faith in our long-term plan. That's concerning to me. And then the second issue is if we want to address affordable housing, which I do, and I hope you do too, we ought to do it as an entire community. Let's go figure out where it belongs. Let's amend the master plan, the general plan, because that's what our residents get told when they come forward and they say, we don't want a sidewalk here, or we want to change this road. They get told, make a $1,000 application fee and come amend the general plan. Let's do that together and create a place for real affordable housing. I'm not sure that a 5% discount for smaller lots is real affordability. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Okay. Did I miss anybody else?
I wasn't on the list, but I'd like to.
Okay, I'll allow.
Thank you. My name's Jaden Smith. I came running in a little bit late. I was representing Dallin while he was on vacation. I guess I didn't do a very good job because we're still here. So we're back. I'm now here as a citizen, not representing Dallin, but I still support this project. This isn't high density. It's been called higher density. It's a higher density zone maybe, but I want to kind of take it back and say, here's what we're kind of debating over or looking at or arguing over, whatever we want to call it. It's 3 lots. It is significant to the development and making the development happen. I don't think, though, anyone's going to drive down the street and say, this is 3 lots denser than the other side of the street, or with what Dallin has proposed with the deed restriction as well, these lots are 600 square feet smaller than the rest of the lots on that street. I don't think anyone's going to see that. I think we're debating or looking at microscopic little differences. I know there's some fear of the road, like it's been addressed. I think where a lot of these comments come from is the fear of the road, and people are doing a great job in finding ways to voice that opinion. I'm here as a citizen of Providence, living just east of here, supporting it, saying we would love that as a through street, whether it be that or not,
to get to more parks, more affordable housing. Me and my wife just were able to buy a home in Providence a couple years back. Very difficult. It is only a 5% decrease in price, maybe. That is significant. I mean, we were stretched. We actually had to lower the cost of our house by $4,000 to meet the requirements that we qualified for getting a loan. So 5% can mean all the world to someone. So thank you for your time, and I hope you recommend approval, or approve it, I should say, now that we're here. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let's then move to, it's time for the council to discuss. So, discussion. Carrie.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Scarlett could speak to two things that have been questioned. One is this, I mean, I tell my kids asked and answered, like it's been asked, we answered. But if you come back with something different, then we look at it. And this deed restriction is significantly different. It's basically making it an R18, but with the different frontage. Am I understanding that correctly? And then will you also speak to affordability and your role and the state and how we need to look at that?
Okay. I'm glad you brought up the deed restriction because that is a completely voluntary thing. The staff, Dallin did come in, he did speak with me, but he presented the idea and he said, do you know if that's even something that we can legally do? And I said, I'll have to check. So I checked with our city attorney. We were not comfortable with a straight-on deed restriction without it going through the sales agreement just to protect all parties. But that is completely optional to how they want to approach that, and it is completely voluntary. We didn't say, no, you can't do that. I did say, I'll find out if it's possible, so I did. But that's all them. There was nothing happening that caused them to do that between city staff and the developer. They came up with that. They felt like a deed restriction would help ease the sense of what could happen with the property down the road once you rezoned it. So that's how that came to be.
And it's legally binding.
It would be once it's recorded.
And it would hold true to the property even if it was resold.
The way that's written, it sounds like it would.
Yeah,
I'm not an attorney.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I'm not an attorney, but so I'm not going to say
and
yes,
with a
but it
minimum lot size of 9,250 square feet, that's almost an R10. Am I
Right.
understanding that correctly?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. The other thing you wanted me to speak to is the state code.
And affordability requirements and your report and how this impacts that.
Well, hopefully that report's going to change a little bit, but it actually might be more difficult in the past years. So the state of Utah has had a moderate income housing incentive plan, whatever you want to call it, for probably 25 years. Did it come out in 2000, Brent? Do you remember?
Somewhere about in there, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
And Providence City has always been a bubble city. We've been just big enough that we got swallowed up to play with the big boys. So even though we're smaller than a lot of communities that have to do it, and we happen to be in a county of the third class. So that's the first thing. You have to be in a county of the third class. Then you have to have a minimum of 5,000 people. And we met that threshold, so we get to do this. And we did it. It used to be that we had to do it every 3 years, and then about 5 years ago they changed it to this every year thing. And they have changed that every year since they put it in. We established goals, and that's the resolution that I think was Mark Thompson referred to the resolution on the goals. That went through the planning commission and went through city council. We established those goals, and then once a year I have to write a report about our progress on those goals. The thing that's been interesting about that report is it's never really asked me to tell them in numbers whether we've really achieved what we were after. It's more been that I've had to, one of them is that we were going to make sure that developers knew about our various zones. And we talk to developers all the time about various zones. So I put that in the report. The newer report that they're talking about doing is going to get away from the text and the dialogue and kind of the justification or this is how we met this goal, not whether we really met it or not. This is how we did this step. The new report is going to ask for numbers, is what they're saying. Now, I don't know, and I won't know until, when does the state legislature?
Until it's due.
Yeah, just about. It starts in January, ends in February, right? Or first week of March? So I won't know until the first week of March.
Basically due.
And then the report's due August 1st. But anyway, I won't know until the first week of March what they're actually going to do. But it does sound like they want a report that is more a metric report, that they can use numbers and see percentages and see actual counts. The one thing that we do right now, we have to estimate, well, we have to do two things. We have to tell them how many lots we have out there that have been approved for different lot sizes. And then we have to tell them on the vacant parcels that have not been approved by any type of a development plan or anything, they're just vacant pieces of property, how many lots we anticipate that could be. And so the one is pretty good accurate number. The other one is kind of an estimated number. And so they've realized that. So this new plan that they're talking about will be less about justifying how we did it and more about, did you actually do it? How many new lots did you add that would fall into that criteria? The state has gotten a little better. Even they realize that the market pretty much determines the price. There are some programs out there. We have not put any of these into our code. We need to talk about that and probably get them in our code if it's our intent to start using them. But we do not have the governor's first-time home buyer program within our code. We have something that's similar, but I don't remember who it was that said they bought the older home and were able to fix it up. That would not qualify for the governor's first-time home buyer program. Right now, the only homes that qualify that are new builds because and the rationale behind that is the reason why prices are so high is because we are so far behind on housing stock. So if we incentivize existing homes to get these lower interest rates and things, then we're not solving the problem of increased housing stock. So those first-time home buyer, at least the incentive one that the governor has out there, there are some first-time home buyer programs that are different, but this particular one, that has to be on new builds. And
it has to be in our code in order to be.
Yeah, there's some things we need to we need to allow 6 units per acre. Right now we allow 5.5. So we could probably maybe make that work, but if it was a very large piece of property, it would end up that it really wouldn't
work anyway.
Yeah. And so we would need to change our code to say 6 units per acre. There are some other restrictions within that we don't have in our code that if we want to
might not be a good fit for us anyway.
It might not. That's why I've been a little reluctant, but it might be that we end up with not a lot of choice too. The other problem with it that we've had is that I don't know. This is just what lenders have, not lenders, but developers and realtors have told me, that to qualify for that program is very difficult. The buyer, the home buyer, there's just such a small window that they have to fit into, that it's been very difficult for at least the few developers that have talked to me about it, it's been difficult for them to be able to justify it because the window is so small for the buyers.
With like minimum income, maximum income.
Price of home and all of that kind of thing. And so, so anyway, those are things though that we will need to wait and see how things change. But this plan that we have, and every year I hold my breath because I put it down there. I have them give me I shoot them down a rough draft and they look at it and they give me some feedback and I fix it. And then they say, this looks good, but remember, we can't give you the final answer until we know for sure. So I'm really hoping that we are still in the good graces of and that my report went in as Colton really helped me and we worked really hard on it, and I'm hoping that they approve it. But if for some reason they don't, we can appeal, but if we lose that appeal, then I can't remember, Ryan, and I probably should have looked it up. Is this the $500 a year a day, or is this the?
Oh, I think
So if our report is rejected, and they don't feel like we've done enough, then it will cost the citizens of Providence $500 a day for the next year. And we will not be given an opportunity to apply for, I don't remember which grants it ties up.
Yeah.
Several of the grants that we have gotten. So it would have been, if we'd have fallen into that category that we couldn't get to grants, it would have been millions of dollars in grant money that we would not have received, that we were able to receive because we'd been staying on top of things. But each year it gets a little bit harder. So it's not something that, I know that people think sometimes the state legislature won't do that to us. The state legislature has done it. It's just that we have stayed on top of things and been able to qualify each year to continue to have the grants and to have our report approved. And I don't think our report won't be approved, but it's just always nerve-wracking until they say yes.
Thank you.
Did that answer your question?
Yep. I had one more question, but it's gone, so.
I do sit on a couple of legislative policy committee subcommittees. Okay.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, ask.
But the light bulb just went on.
Yeah. So this addendum was not presented to the Planning Commission.
No. That
So
just
this
came-
is a big change since their denial.
But the
Or
Planning
their
Commission-
recommendation to deny.
Right.
And normally, I would say, if there's a huge change like this, it should go back to Planning Commission, but we've been beating this horse for so long.
Well, so I think one of the reasons that they came up with this, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, so you can verify with Dallin if you want, but Joe Chambers on the Planning Commission did talk about maybe we could do something through a development agreement or something like that. Development agreements have to go through the same process as an ordinance change nowadays because the state felt like cities were using development agreements to skirt their own zoning rules. And so in order to do a development agreement now, that does have to go through the public hearing process and the Planning Commission, just like an ordinance. So, and there's some things that you need to put into the development agreement that this really isn't, it's just really marginal if it would even qualify to be able to do the development agreement. And so Dallin talked to me about that, I think it was yesterday. And
So does it have to go back to the Planning
no.
Commission?
No, because that's more of a city council thing anyway.
Okay. I mean, I love the planning commission's input, but I also hate to beat something that's already been beat to death.
You don't feel like it would have to go back to planning commission, do you?
I don't. I don't think that would have to go back. I see it as important as you might find it to be, whether it's plus or it's minus. That's in the receiver. If you receive it and think that it's an important change, then I think that's in yours. I don't see it as much of a change from a staff perspective or plus or minus to go back to planning commission. Certainly, I think they're trying to come with some type of compromise, and whether that compromise is going from an R16 to an R18 to R110, R112, deed restriction. I think it's always good to have a developer come with some ability to compromise with council. I mean, you are looking for trying to have the best of all and judge and weigh all the different opinions and that. So how much weight you put on that is really the amount of weight it is. It's not from us. It's not
really an
vetted us.
actionable item from the planning commission, but Joe Chambers did throw the idea out of a development agreement. So they already kind of put that out there. So was there something else?
Yeah, would you just vote for me?
Nope.
That's enough.
Sorry, that's not allowed.
Not even running.
I would have to put the kibosh on.
You ran for office was to get the opportunity to do that. That's why I've not ever run. I don't want that opportunity.
Does anybody else on the council have questions for Scarlett while she's up there?
I don't have any questions of Scarlett, no.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I've
Discussion.
been quoted a few times. Maybe I ought to
Oh,
speak. Yeah.
You're important.
I didn't vote for something, I guess. Was it before my time or?
It was before you were on.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Is that the master plan?
Neither did David.
Yeah.
And the reason my
David.
name is on there is that I was on the planning commission. I wasn't the mayor at the time.
So I'm not bound to a master plan. I've always been excited about seeing the master plan and maybe adjusting it a little bit to changing times, but.
Well, Brent, you have a comment.
Well, I've been quoted a few times, so I think I'll speak up. Okay, so if you will recall, when the Planning Commission first recommended this vote to the council, it was that we approve it. And the vote came up and there was 2 for and 3 against. And so it failed at that time. And so last meeting in July, it came before the council again. And Dallin wasn't here. He was represented by Mr. Smith. And there was a discussion that ensued, and we talked about things. And in that interim, the Planning Commission met again and recommended denial of this. And again, as I listened to the Planning Commission, Joe Chambers did bring up something that hit home with me. And that was, if the property was zoned R16, there could be lots of things done with this property that I felt like was too many unknowns. And that's why I said it's a blank check, because we don't have any commitment. We don't have, and couldn't have a development agreement. We're in the zoning business, not the planning and development and so forth. We leave that to these folks. So as I listened to it, Joe had some points that he brought up that were important to me. Ryan and I talked extensively about what could be done with this property. We've talked about, if we really want to make it affordable, the city buy it, the whole piece. And we develop at R16, and we include the tail end properties of 4 acres that are up off the 2nd West. And we develop the whole thing and really make it affordable. Does the city want to do that? I don't think we're in the business of buying property and trying to develop it. Might be happy with the state. They might smile all over the place if we did something like that, but we're not able to do that. I just listened to the news tonight before I came here. We're in Salt Lake. They have purchased a large area. They're going to redo it and make it affordable housing. We don't have that kind of money. And that's probably not something we want to get into. So we come back to tonight. And when we left the council meeting in July, we said, we recommend that you go back, because you weren't here, Dallin, and you talk it over with the owner and come back to us, because it also said, well, we could also take an R18. So there was some latitude that was being expressed there. And so it wasn't set in stone what you were really going to do. We felt like there was some nebulous stuff there that wasn't set in stone. So we ask you to go back, talk with the property owners, come together and come back to us and tell us what you really want to do, what you're going to do. And in the minutes, we said here that, and this is from the other meeting, it said, council members continued their discussion about the proposed zoning, considering factors such as lot sizes, frontage requirements, and potential impacts on the neighborhood. They also discussed the possibility of tabling the item for further consideration and potential amendments to the application. And so that's what happened. We tabled it. We wanted you to tell us what you want to do. We don't want to tell you what you have to do unless it's totally unreasonable. And so as we tonight, then when I saw it on the agenda again, I thought, well, how do you just come back with the same thing the third time, and what's the difference? But seeing your document here, this addendum 3, has certainly changed my mind that you have done something about it. You have got together with the developer and the property owner, and you've made a commitment to the city what you would do with this property. Now, R16 is a designation so you can get the frontage that you need. The lots are good-sized lots. I've been around development of infrastructure as I worked with Providence City with the RUPS and other developers, and infrastructure costs are going way high. I remember when you could buy all the concrete you wanted for $30 a yard. Try and buy a yard of concrete today for less than 100, you can't get one. 200. I know, 200. That's why I bought a cement mixer. Buy my bags at Home Depot and dump it in, and yeah, I can't afford to have a truck come. So my point is, I understand development costs. You run water and sewer across the frontage of those homes, and that price is high, very high. And that designates what you're going to reflect in the cost of your lots and your curb and your gutter and your asphalt. Then I have 3 grandsons, 2 this year and 1 2 years ago, that have bought homes. And those homes, the 1 2 years ago is down in College Ward where my storage sheds were, and it was $375,000. It's a 1,200 square foot home on a 4,000 square foot lot. The infrastructure costs are expensive. Now I just had one buy one in Smithfield, just barely north of the Temple. He hasn't moved into it yet. One that built one in Hiram. I think it's about 900 south, 700 south. It's a little subdivision south of 6 South. He just bought one and moved into that. They're looking at $425,000 to $450,000 for those homes. I think they can qualify. But both their wives work, or all 3 of their wives work, and they can qualify. But it takes 2 incomes to qualify. I look at what can we do I don't really worry too much about the state. What can we do to get kids in homes? What can we do to give them an opportunity to qualify for a home? Now, it was brought up to me that the R12s have been selling good. I went up on the bench. Ryan and I looked at that up on the bench. One person must have a little money. He's bought 4 lots up there to keep his house from having neighbors. Well, that's got to be taken into account in those areas where they have significant funds to be able to do some of the things like that, because they want to preserve their view from being up on the bench. Those are larger lots. I don't know if they get taken into consideration, but those lots have been purchased and they're not for sale. So maybe it's skewed a little bit. I don't know. But my point and my feelings are, with the document that you presented, I feel like you have made a good attempt to make a compromise to be able to, and I realize it has a recommendation or a plan on the master plan. It says R112. We as a council can vary that. And myself, after listening, seeing what they've done here, I feel like they have made a real attempt to give us a decent lot size, recognizing they have to put the infrastructure in and the cost of the infrastructure and the opportunity for our young kids to have a place, to have a home, and those that want to live in Providence can. That's my thoughts.
Thank you, Brent. I agree with everything you just said. So
Okay.
I do think they make it very difficult to make decisions, right, Carrie? Maybe a year or 2 or 3 years ago, I mean, my mentality has always been, I'm here because of the people. If the people come, we do what they say. But I feel like this is a reasonable request, especially with this purchase contract agreement. And I'm not from Providence, but I've been here 6 years now, I think, or so. And I live in an area that's being developed, and I'm not happy about it. I'm sure I could get my whole neighborhood to back me up and we could be in here sometime next year, but I'm not going to do that because I understand the homes are going up on that hill. Hundreds of them? Lots of them. Hundreds of homes. We just punched through my dead end street that we love to walk on. No cars, no traffic, but it's going right through to the next neighborhood. We're going to put the cart before the horse and build all the homes, which we're not thrilled about that either, but I understand where I am. And the growth is going to happen in Providence, and we can do it responsibly. I think just before I got in here, there was some irresponsible high density put up there in the vineyard. I'll just throw out that name, Vineyard. It's kind of an ugly spot there, but I just think it's hard coming from where I used to be in the country and the wide open spaces, no neighbors, got my 7.5 acres. Sometimes I'm tempted to go back there, but I can't now. It's definitely not affordable now. It was 15 years ago, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just think the developer here is putting in something reasonable, and it fits the neighborhood to the west and to the east. There's 2 cul-de-sacs there, and those lots are 0.2, 0.21, 0.25. I don't know what 9,250 is as far as
0.2-ish.
0.2-ish, just like the other ones right around it to the west and to the
2.2
east.
or something.
So that street is surrounded by 0.2 acre lots. And I think great families are going to move into these homes. I hate the word affordability. I think that should be thrown out. There's nothing affordable, and it depends on how much your income is. And I definitely could not afford a home right now if I hadn't got my home when I got it. Well, just 6 years ago. I'm the provider as a school teacher. My wife does not work, and I've got a few children. But so nothing is affordable to me right now. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I think this is going to be a great neighborhood, and he's locked in at this 9,250 because I understand the infrastructure that needs to go down that street. And I think my own home also has a 60-foot frontage. I think that's all I have to say.
Okay.
But you make it very difficult. I can see both sides. I am deep down inside very anti-growth, but I think there are places for it, especially near the highway, near the commercial, near other neighborhoods that are point two.
Okay.
A quick question, if
Yes.
maybe Ryan or Scarlett could address, within the real estate purchase contract, buyers and sellers are bound by certain dates, settlement dates and disclosures and things like that. But say an inspector or a lender would not be bound by that. Within this addendum 3, city is named and says,
Go a little closer to your mic.
says the restrictions shall be enforceable by the city of Providence, Utah, where we're being pulled into effectively this contract. Are we actually bound by it just because we're named in a contract between a buyer and seller to enforce the deed?
I don't believe so. I mean, it gives us the opportunity to enforce, but I don't think we're bound in the same manner that we're a party to the contract. It's not a three-way party. We're not going to sign and endorse, and we're not a party to the contract. If that's what you're asking.
Right. So if we're not bound by it, are we going to enforce that if we say we're going to go R16 based on this restriction and then?
Well, when they go to deed restriction, I mean, obviously we look at restrictions of things when they develop and build, and so those things would come up. That it's the agreement that would be recorded as deed restriction rather than, I mean, the contract is committing to the deed restriction. The contract itself we're not a party to. The deed restriction becomes recorded at the county.
Ryan, would this be a platted restriction? In other words, when you develop the plat, this would be a restriction that they would have to meet on the plat?
We could have them put a note on the plat. We've done that.
I think that's where we would enforce it, wouldn't it?
That would be where we would want restrictions that way. Obviously, in a purchase contract, it doesn't start there, but certainly that's where it would be best in the long term. And that may be the enforcement that we do, is that we enforce it to be on that plat.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That'd be your opportunity
Our
to
point to
enforce
enforce.
this contract or this addendum.
Right, because their lots for that plat would have to be designed to meet that addendum. So just the recording of that, but we could also, we tend to make people, we've gotten a lot fussier. We tend to make them put notes on there to refer to other contracts and things like that nowadays, so.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that's I guess, ultimately enforceable, because in my neighborhood, for example, there were restrictions on homes that some of them not have basements because of the creek and things like that, and the builder put in basements, and
So
we
that
had
would be a
lot of issues.
CCNR restriction and not a plat restriction. If this was a CCNR restriction, it's up to the HOA to enforce CCNR restrictions. The city doesn't enforce CCNRs, but we would look at plat.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. I also feel like the whole affordable housing issue is, that's difficult. I question the role of government in that. Is it our role to say, or should it be? And I know Governor Cox says, yeah, that's our role. We need to provide that and make sure the market goes where we say it's going to go. I wish we had the superpower to do it. Right now, you can kind of draw a line of, say, 400,000. That's the number we always throw out here. How many homes are available at 400K and under? Providence has 56 properties for sale on the MLS. 17 of those are below 400,000. that's a third. Some of those have been on the market 3 months. I think 2 or 3 of them, and a couple more approaching that. If there's such a housing crisis and we have hundreds of people just wanting to move in and clamoring to buy something under 400,000, why would there be a property sitting there for 3 months? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but
Because it needs a couple $100,000 in repair.
it maybe needs repairs. Some of them are newer though, and you can look at those, but, so I think we've answered the deed question I had.
I don't think there's anything affordable anywhere, really, for, for folks that don't.
I'm just throwing out the 400 because that's kind
Yeah.
of what's widely used as,
Right.
as that number, at least in this area. Yeah. So they are available. People just aren't buying them. They are buying them. They're turning, but slowly, perhaps. I think that's all I had. I like that you've come with something different and that we hadn't thought about before necessarily. And if that puts us closer to R110 or between R18 and R110, we'd kind of talked about going that R18 or perhaps 110 when you were gone. So I'm thinking about it.
How many more homes is that? If you did R112, how many homes would there be? If you do R110, how many homes are there?
I believe every zone we're dropping about 3. Some of that's going to depend on Dallin Tolman, in case I need to say my name again. Some of that's going to depend a little bit on final survey results. It goes through an extensive process, but from current deed measurements, we're losing about 3 every step. So from an R112 to what we're proposing right now.
So you're only talking about 3 homes less. That's
Fewer,
not
yes.
hundreds of cars.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
insignificant really in the grand scheme of the development, very significant on costs and feasibility on the development.
Okay. Actually, I'd like to get people not to park on the road where they're not supposed to.
Yeah, and the comment was made that we do 1 bedroom or 1 garage homes. We don't have any of those, just 2 and 3. So just to straighten that out in case there was any of that.
I'd really like to see the houses put back further so there's more parking in the front.
In the driveway.
Yeah.
In the driveways.
Yeah, we can look into that.
So, can't require that, but it would be nice. And we have a lot of people along that First South that are creating a hazard because they're parking illegally. So we want to make sure we don't create that kind of a hazard along that street. So being back further would do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Has nothing to do with you, but okay. More questions? Are we ready to vote? Does someone have a what do we call it, a resolution for me? A motion?
Just a quick question, sorry. What
Okay.
was remind me of the minimum lot requirements square footage for R110?
10,000 square feet. Yeah.
And a 80-foot frontage.
Okay. Very close.
200 square feet. I don't know about you, but I can't tell when I drive by how many square feet there are in a lot. Okay. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion, and please understand that I'm not ignoring the residents that have spoken, because I feel what you're talking about, but understand that you're coming in very close to the size of lots that you already have there. And the master plan for roads has always included that road being a connecting road through. And that would take a change on the master plan to do that. We have the opportunity to change the zoning, but if I'm correct, we would have to open the master plan and have public hearings regarding closing that through road, connecting between the 2 streets. Is that not correct, Ryan?
At this point, there would be a master plan and a general plan changes to that. But at this point, the developer can't even propose that until a zone designation is changed. So even then, that can't be considered at this point because it's not a. I mean, obviously you can consider whatever you want, but
Do we have a length on a cul-de-sac? We used to.
Yes.
What's the length?
Would have to look. I think it's 660.
So that's about a block, and we're between First South and Third South, and they're in there, what? I don't think they're 660 feet coming in from the south. We couldn't probably build a cul-de-sac because it would be in violation of our own ordinance.
That would then require an ordinance change as well. It's almost 1,300 feet from First South to Third South is almost 1,300 feet. So that would violate then the next ordinance of the distance between of a cul-de-sac if it were dead ending that direction. But if it's middle, then you split that. So, but yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of changes to that, Domino. But as a rezone, I mean, that's really the question tonight. And so.
Not really part of the
Right.
consideration.
I'm just thinking out loud. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay,
I'd
you're
like to
gonna
make
do
a motion. I'm not ignoring the residents. I have a special concern for it. It's been a tough thing for 2 months to think what I've been down there. I've looked at it, what I want to do, how I would vote, and the various factors I've weighed out in my mind over and over again. But I really think with what they have proposed becoming quite comparable to what you already have, knowing what I know about master plans, cul-de-sac links, and so forth, I would make a motion that we approve resolution. Now I gotta go find it. Ordinance. Okay, ordinance 052025.
Timberbrook rezone.
Timberbrook.
Timberbrook rezone, sorry.
Ag to ordinance.
Here we go. Let's get this right. I make a motion that we approve ordinance 052025 Timberbrook rezone.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we have a motion. Do we have
I'll
a second?
second that.
Do you include the deed restriction in the motion?
Oh, we probably do. You want to amend that?
What's that?
We need an amendment to
Oh.
your motion.
Let's
Or
start
we-
over.
well,
We might get
let's-
this right one of these
We
days.
didn't have a second yet, so let's.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve ordinance 052025 Timberbrook rezone, including addendum number 3 to the real estate purchase contract as being a part of this
Motion.
This motion.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Okay. Okay, motion carries. Okay. Wow, that's hard. We really do like you to come make comment. Thank you. We'll close item number 2 and move on to item number 3.
All right. We received.
Motion, or item number 3 is the Thompson Field, not filed, Zollinger Park RFP award.
Yeah, I think that did change. Sorry, I must have caught a late version of that.
I may have printed the earlier version too.
Yeah, so, all right.
So this is the Providence City Council will review, discuss, and may take action on approving a bid for the construction of Thompson Field at Zollinger Park.
Okay.
So Ryan?
Yep, I'll take it. All right. So we have received 4 bids for the construction. The construction includes collegiate, high school to collegiate. Okay, collegiate size field for football, lacrosse, and soccer. So that's the size of the field. I think it's collegiate. turf level. But anyway, so at least high school level, and I'm not sure the difference in different dimensions between those two. But
This is not a turf field. This is a grass field.
It is
right?
it is a grass turf field. So turf is it's not artificial turf, but grass.
Okay.
It is a Kentucky blue mix with 80%, 20% mix. Anyway, getting into the weeds there, but not weed. Getting into grass there. It hopefully doesn't. It's going to get cleared of weeds soon. So this is to take care of putting in the field, putting in the sprinkler system, planting the lawn with hydro seed, and also putting in a trail at least along the east side of the park, and connecting the parking lot to the walking trail. So that's what it is. We got 4 bids. The 4 bids came with a little different tweak to each one of the different bids. And we kind of gave some flexibility to be able to do that because we wanted to find the right one rather than just the cheapest one. So that's kind of, it was part of our plan to do some of that. So in comparing the bids, some wouldn't provide extra topsoil. We'd have to need to import that. Some provided the topsoil. Some provided an asphalt trail. Some provided a concrete trail. So we had a variety, which is great, and we appreciate it. Ultimately, the recommendation I'd like to make is to go with Canyon Landscaping. That includes an asphalt trail on the east side. They provide the topsoil and spreading it out and all of that. And the total of this is the grand total of their bid is $264,898.64. And the recommendation I'm making is to approve to move forward with theirs. Some of them, obviously, concrete made it more. The other bids, were 384,000, and another 257 with a little different tweak to that one. So best bang for our buck, and best end result, I believe, will be the Canyon Landscape bid at that $264,000 amount number. So that's my recommendation, is to move forward out of those 4 bids, to move forward with their bid. So
Okay.
if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Okay. Questions?
I'll show you.
Brent, questions? Jeff?
No, I was just trying to find the location.
We're going to take a quick look at the property here. How long of asphalt trail are we talking about, Ryan?
Well, I can pull it up here and we'll show you.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, is see what we got here. 500 south. So we got to go up here to.
While he's pulling it up, I'm wondering, so it includes the trail, the sprinkler system, the topsoil, and
Sprinkler system, the sprinklers, and spraying the hydro seed.
the hydro seed.
Yeah, so it's planting the
No
seed.
trees.
It does not include trees. This does not include trees. No.
And the park strip is included.
Yes,
It sure looks bad right now.
it does. Well, I should clarify. The parking strip between the
Yes.
sidewalk and there is included. The rock is already placed, but once we have the weeds out of this, it will definitely clear
Clean
up.
it
and-
up.
Yeah. But the other one is, there is some weeds that need to be sprayed and cleared, and we'll take care of those when we do this. But it will certainly make it look nicer. The trail is from along
From the parking lot
from the trail here to the sidewalk.
to what sidewalk?
to the sidewalk on 100 South.
Where the deer trail currently is that children use.
482 feet approximately.
Okay.
So it's along that east side and would go down and tie into the sidewalk that's right there. Now the sidewalk doesn't proceed through all of the properties along that direction, but it does proceed from across our property there.
So does it
So
take
there's
us through our property, which ends in 0081? You're taking it across property 0003, and then are we taking it across okay, that's our property where that shed is. Is that a shed
Good.
right there?
This is the pickleball courts.
Pickleball.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Is it taken along the east side of the pickleball court?
Yeah,
And
east.
connect up?
Well, there's already a trail there.
There's already a trail around.
I ran the mile. Goes right through there.
Right through
Very
there.
good. All
It,
right.
it will connect right to that mile, that trail, as it comes around the corner and then straightens back up before you get to the pickleball courts. We'll take that and just continue straight. Instead of the turn that you made, we'll go straight to the south and tie it right into the sidewalk at the very south of the property.
What's their estimated time frame? Is it this fall?
Yes, that's our hope. Yep.
Did they allude that?
No, that's
that-
what we
that-
asked them to do.
And
Yeah,
we'll
that's what we asked
we'll
them to do.
seed
Obviously,
it. We won't-
obviously in this country,
Which the hydro seed is best in the fall.
yeah, we'll put down hydro seed, and then if we need to refresh that, it does include, I believe, 2 applications of hydro seed. So we have one, then we'll come back and put another layer on. So
And then will they, my experience with hydro seeding is lots of weeds come up with the seed. Are they going to take care of that, or is that something we?
no, then we'll take that on once it starts to grow. We'll do the first mow, and we'll start to and then once we've mowed it a few
Spray.
times, and we'll spray and start to incorporate it into the
Some 2,4-D on it.
Yeah. So the nice thing with hydro seed is that it will take in the conditions that sod can, one, it's a whole lot more expensive that we couldn't fit it within the budget we have. And 2, sod tends to hide whatever you don't want to, I mean, whatever isn't growing, it tends to hide it. So the hydro seed will help us to know where things are growing and not growing. We don't just water the surface in order for the sod to continue to grow. We actually have that seed to take root. So, but there is a chance that sometimes weeds do grow up. It's absolutely true. That sometimes can actually hold some of that grass and help it to grow as well. But then we'll do the first mow and we'll take care of that. And then if we need another application, we'll bring another application of hydro seed.
This is going to sound bad. Can we put some spikes by the edges so people won't drive over it?
No.
Please forgive my ignorance. I am not a runner, so I haven't been down that trail.
I would be happy to walk it with you and not
what?
run it.
Walk? What? Where's your golf cart? We'll take a ride down it.
Let's say wheelchair.
You got to remember how old I am, so
We,
we'll go
we
down to
don't
golf.
we don't allow
I
motorized.
saw you climb that hill up to the new park.
We don't allow motorized vehicles on the trail.
But if you start at the parking lot, that's not very far.
So my son-in-law and my grandson took me up to Island Park fishing. And he said, Grandpa, we'll drive right to the edge of the water. You can sit there and fish. Well, the gate was shut. I had to walk 1.5 miles. And when it got to the canyon, it was a 300-foot drop down into the canyon. And
I hope you caught some fish.
Huh?
Did you catch them?
No, I couldn't catch it I didn't have a long enough line, so I had to hike down. And I hiked down that thing, and then I got down there, and I thought, holy crap,
You
I
have to
got to
go
go
up.
up. Yeah.
This is designed at only a 1.5% slope. But 1 to 1.5% slope. It won't be a lot of hill. It's not that distance. It's,
Nice little
500
walk.
feet, a tenth of a mile. This trail is just about.
Can you ride electric bike on it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can ride an electric scooter.
No.
Oh.
You can ride rollerblades
Rollerblades.
and skateboards.
A
Skateboard.
Wait, no, we got a skate park.
Way
By the-
too dangerous.
By the way, just one comment I heard from my students when we were watching the skateboarding event, this is off topic. We have the best skate park in the valley.
We do.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Of
We've
course
got
we
the
do.
best,
Do we
uh,
have a sprinkler
okay.
system in
Okay.
this property?
This will install the sprinkler system.
This includes the
this
sprinkler
includes the
system?
sprinkler system. The main line to put in, it includes the putting in the sprinklers, grading it out, planting the grass.
Everything.
Up to the point we pick up and mow.
Does it include like a refresh in the spring?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Up to 2.
Sounds good.
And then it will be soggy next year, right? So next summer, will it be playable next summer or it's still?
It is designed to be playable next fall.
Okay.
It isn't designed to be playable next spring or summer. No. Next fall is when we would expect that's our anticipation, is that next fall it would be playable. So
Great.
not before then.
So this is somewhat on topic, but mostly off. I spend a lot of time at Zollinger Park this weekend, and the goat heads along the park strip there are so bad. And I assume they are along here too. Can we do something
Goat heads
about
are
those
along
dang goat
along
heads?
Second West.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's county. We'll send them a note.
please.
Yeah.
Luck.
We actually have sent them notes on several areas. Mary is doing a pretty good job now. I think
Yes,
she got.
have Mary send them a ticket.
Yeah, she has sent them notes on several pieces of their property. She is not afraid of sending the county notes.
Good.
So if we know of something, she is certainly on top of that and taking care of. She's not afraid of it. It's not picking on any person. She is certainly just trying to
Do her job.
do her job and to do it well. Yes, you will see people, if they are violating ordinances, she is doing a good job of keeping that done. You may not like her if you're violating the ordinance, but she is doing her job well. She's doing her job well.
Mark? I'm going to let Mark, since this is his property.
He's letting Providence City have a free pass on the park only.
You're right. She has given us, but we have a plan, and we're here tonight to see if you'll approve that plan so that we can get that fixed. Because without that, we don't have the resource to take and mow that park. So at this point, we're working on it.
Those tumbleweeds that are in there now, when you're talking about having to spray in the spring, you could knock them down.
By the time the
Light them on fire.
Before they go to seed.
Goes right next to it.
Yeah.
Talking now.
Yeah, they're gonna clear and grub
heads.
that off, take off that, clear and grub it, and then they'll start and bring in topsoil, and so that stuff will be cleared and grubbed and removed, and then we'll put in
Let's do
topsoil,
this.
and we're hoping to have that. The idea is to have it done. That we've given them a 60-day window to do it, and we want it done by the end of the year. That's what we've told them. So.
Well, that will be great to have that beautiful green field
Now, if
there.
it snows tomorrow and winter shut down, then we don't get what we want. But you never know in this weather. So that's why I take my caveat is I never know what the weather's going to do. But all things considered, that is the plan, is to have it removed, planted, growing this fall. And then in the spring, we'll refresh, and this will be a playable field come the fall.
So what
next
happens when people drive through the middle of it?
We shoot them. No,
that doesn't sound any better than my solution, and that is to put spikes around the edge.
We would hope that they would. We'll put up notice and hope that they wouldn't. And that's the hard thing is we can build nice things, and it really comes down to a matter
We
of
want people to
resident
take care of
respect.
them. I've
And
been
when the residents
really
respect it, then great. When they don't, that's tough. That is tough in our business today.
Well, we'll tape all the way around it so
We'll
people don't
tape the
even
parking lot, and yeah, we'll tape the north and the south. We should
tape the field so that
Yeah.
people
Mark
aren't
that
walking
out.
on it either.
right.
Yeah.
East and west have fences. That's pretty good to keep people
Yeah.
out.
But I've been really pleased at the skate park and how well that's been maintained. I think there's a little bit of garbage now and again, but
We
looks
have our
good.
staff pick up garbage every day.
Is it bad? Is
We
it
have our
really?
staff pick up garbage every day.
Okay.
Well,
But-
it looks so good.
They've done such a
Absolutely.
great job.
We got a good staff, and we work really hard to take care of the parks and the areas, and we're working, and we would appreciate your support on awarding this
Why,
so that we can
100%.
take care of this piece of the park. We're working on it.
Okay.
Can I make a motion?
Yes, please do.
Who are you recommending?
Canyon Landscaping.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve item number 3, the Thompson Field at Zollinger Park RFP, and award it to Canyon Landscaping.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second. David? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thompson Field.
Well, yes, sorry.
Did I say so?
No, you said it. There's a misspelling because I pulled the wrong agenda. And
There's a
and
typo.
Well, I don't notice
yes.
misspellings.
That's fine. I appreciate
Janelle would have
that.
caught that, so I just threw it out there for Janelle.
One thing I would like you to remember, and this is something that I'd like to, maybe not on the record, but at least have you remember and know. One, we are so grateful for the Thompsons and their willingness to sell us this piece.
Amen.
Absolutely. I appreciate that they're here. Thank you. That's great. I appreciate it. I did, and I thank you. Secondly, you may or may not remember, but this is funded 100% by grant. So, we have made this property, and we will make this property into a gem of our community through a lot of good, hard work by the staff, by the public. This is what makes Providence great, is a joint, combined effort like this.
Well,
That,
we'll
in
have
my mind, this is
soccer,
great.
football,
Soccer, lacrosse, and football.
And lacrosse.
So.
And we don't have a lacrosse field till we get this one
But
done.
we
so.
have a lacrosse field today. We didn't previously.
Did we
We
do
have
it over
marked
at-
it and
at-
have worked that out with the fields we have. We have been able to coordinate and utilize them. But this will be a full size field that all three
Be played on.
can be
Fight
played
over.
on. Yes.
Scheduling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every season.
absolutely.
That's
what we want.
wonderful.
Anyway, so this is
Soccer
a
field lines on
this
it
is a
then.
lot of work to get to here, but we really have done the best we can for this. And another reminder that the baseball field that looks amazing was included with this grant that is taking care of that field and this one. And so we have taken care of beautifying this Zollinger
Everybody
Park.
wants to play
I
on
have
our
you
fields.
know, I stood with some of the staff and yelled at people to not walk on it during the drone show.
I appreciate that. And it's coming in and it's looking so good. And with a little bit
there
more
were-
time, it will be great.
There were
So-
just some people that had to walk along the edge and touch it. It's like
I
what
did.
is
I
up
did
with
use my
that?
fingers to fill it, but
I felt the same way. I have to confess, I went out and did that.
You did.
I
Don't
did.
tell Shaler.
I was with him.
He'll get after you.
but I did yell at quite a few punk kids that were just blatantly running across it.
All right.
Well-
you ready for my report now?
Yes.
One more quick
We'll close
comment.
that item, and we don't have any study items or other plans. Reports now.
Thanks, Thompson.
Thank you, Thompson.
Thank you, guys.
You had one more thing before I start?
Well, I was just curious. Is it too early to? Shaler talked to me about what is being proposed for the baseball field in a year. There's and I can't remember now what he said for sure, but some kind of a playoff coming to the baseball field. in a
We're
couple-
working on it. We're working on all kinds
Is
of
it
things.
too
that
early
bring-
to say anything?
Maybe.
Okay, I won't.
We're working.
We can't do a motion on it, so.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
We're working on it. We're working on.
Say nothing.
You know what? Our field and area, our staff do an amazing job,
The best in the
and
valley.
we have the best staff in the valley, and that is why we have the best city in the valley. We have as
Pass
good
that
a roads
along.
as everyone else, if not better. We have a better water system. We have a better sewer system. We have a better garbage system. We have a better fiber system. And
To sound pompous.
no, I yes.
Not to brag or anything.
I
My
love.
grandfather used to say, "Does your arm hurt?"
Absolutely not.
And
I'll keep
I s-
doing it. It's
I
not
didn't
hurting yet.
understand, and he said, "From patting yourself on the back."
Yep, that's all right. That's all right. It doesn't hurt yet, so I'll keep going. All right. Just a few of the things, just to kind of give you a quick rundown of some of the things we're doing and accomplishing as a staff. We've completed putting in the water tower read system. So we have, we had one tower. We have added 2 more towers at 2 of our parks. And we can read year round on the hour or hourly what the water meters are doing. With the budget that we have this year, we will complete the upgrade of all 1-inch and 3/4-inch meters, and we can read almost all residential meters on an hourly basis.
Oh, wow.
That's fabulous. That is something that no other city in the valley nor the state is able to say, as far as I know. And we'll have it by the end of the year. Our sewer lift station is up and running, and we met our timeframes, and we are accepting in a large business with Blackstone, and they're coming, and they'll be ready to go. Our fiber has been extended into their building, and so they will be on our fiber, but possibly.
We got that worked out.
We're working and it should have that all worked out. Yes. Yeah.
Just a question on that monitoring system. Is there also an alert system? Like if someone appears to have something, a pipe broken or something, is there?
There is an ability to do that. It comes at a significant cost.
Oh,
And
okay.
we haven't gone to that level yet.
Okay.
But that would require a increase in water rates by about $5 a month per resident.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So
Cool.
And how often does that happen? Not very often.
Probably not very often.
Well, lately we've had some pipe.
We've had
breaks,
some.
but-
Well, even
But-
my husband's office in Logan, and they charge astronomically for water, had a toilet that was stuck, and he got like a $600 water bill.
yeah, and to pay $5 a month
To not
for
have
that
to pay.
service, to be able to be told and reminded.
Me.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge service, and it's an awesome thing to do. It just comes at a significant cost.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to do that, that certainly would be a great thing, but it is a all or none kind of a thing.
But you know,
so.
in Arizona, we had to have a warning system put on our house. So if the water was if there was an unusual draw of water, perhaps this would take the place of the individuals having to install that. It was not inexpensive to install that
Yep.
system.
This
So
could do that system.
If this would do that, we could start letting our citizens know that, and it would give them the ability to get a lower rate on their insurance.
But you have to opt. I mean, it's everyone or no one, so they don't get to just opt
Right.
in.
Right.
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 You know,
So-
if you're conscientious of your house, when it's quiet, you can tell you got a problem.
Not everybody can, though.
You can't, well, if you're conscientious.
Yeah.
It's out at the meter. If you're out at the meter, you probably can't. But if it's interior
Unless
to your
it's in your
house-
sprinkler system.
Some
Yeah,
people's houses are never
but you would
quiet.
soon know it in your sprinkler system because water comes up instead
Not
of
always.
goes down.
Nope. Well, a lot of times water will go down if you've got a soil that drains well enough, and a lot of places in Providence, that water goes down because of a lot of drainage. But there is those that have clay and it will come up, but you have a lot of gravels, it'll go down. Eventually, you might see it rise if it fills, but there's a lot of places.
Month to identify it.
Yeah, but this would allow it from the meter. There is some potentials, but anyway, we haven't engaged.
You can
that
check
yet.
into that. So,
Yeah.
I don't have a sprinkler system, so don't worry about it.
There you go. Won't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, the fiber we have our intern working. It's going great. He's doing a great job and working to increase awareness and many different things. We currently have we've We've kind of dipped back. Last month we kind of dipped, but we're back up to a record number on our system, so that's great. We continue to provide that. We've added the 10 gig packages, which is actually an 8 to 10 service based on different ISP and how they get through that system. The library is now connected to our system. We're doing that, and we have 10 gig service into this building. We are working with a contractor to run fiber to the desktop inside of our building. So we'll run fiber throughout the building and actually have fiber to the desktop. And so many of our computers inside the building will, by the end of the year, should have 10 gig service at their workstation. Horrocks Engineering has announced that they came back to Providence. If you haven't seen that, they're not currently our city engineer, but they are working on a project or two for us. But they have come back into this where Next Meter had moved out of. That's where they're in now. To give you an idea, they had an open house yesterday, and it was nice. They've got a nice area. The Safe Routes to School project for 100 East is expected to be ready to come back to the council at our September meeting. So that's our goal, and that's what we're working on with our engineer and environmental and UDOT. The goal is to bring that back to our September meeting. So that's where we're at.
Ryan, on that, will we get a chance as a council maybe to have a workshop on that or something like that? We'd like to see it, I think, ahead of time before we sit here. Is that a possibility?
No.
For a workshop? To see the plans?
The plan should be, I mean, we'll send it out. I can send it out to you. But your discussion on the plan should be in a public
That's fine, but if we can see the plans a little bit beforehand.
But I'd be happy to sit down with any of you. I think I have a regular meeting set and established with each of you. And we could certainly go over and review any pieces of that puzzle you have questions about. And before that September meeting, we could probably do that, if that would work.
I would like that.
Okay. Yep, it should be ready by then.
Okay.
So let's plan on that. We're working on a wildland fire map with Logan Fire Department, and we're in the beginning stages of working on that. That's a new state requirement. Interestingly, just a shock and awe kind of thing, but don't get too scared yet. But the state has mandated that we do this. We'll identify a low, medium, and high. We have to propose that. They'll tell us if we're right or wrong at the end of the year, because they're going to do their own map and we have to follow it. What's that? For fire. And then they will assess, based on the areas, a county assessor will have to go and see every property inside of Providence and every other city to determine the risk level. And the proposed fees right now are $250, $500, and $750 per year per house. And so likely anybody on the benches will pay $750 a year in additional property tax to go to the state to pay for fire. Anybody mid-bench would probably pay $500, and the low lyings will probably pay $250 a year in additional property taxes assessed by the state. What's that?
Casey's having a party next week. If anyone did you get the?
I did not get an invite.
Barn dance, barbecue.
Yeah.
I did not get an invite, and I'm not surprised. I have too much to say.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not.
You should go. You should all go. Blackstone is currently working on the highway.
Mail? Oh, I haven't picked up my mail.
Blackstone is currently working on the highway. That's their project to put in curb and gutter and sidewalks to extend up to the end of the Miller piece. So that's being worked on. That's what you're seeing on the Highway 165. you'll see that the speed limit has been reduced.
I saw 2 accidents the day that they reduced it in the afternoon, and there were 2 accidents in the morning.
So it wasn't due to the reduction.
No, it was before the reduction.
Yeah.
I saw one on the way out and on the way back, and then the next time I went to town, that sign was up.
Yes, not related.
Renders, is that
But
what they were?
we've got that in. The feedback sign is ours. We own that. So that was a requirement from UDOT to be able to reduce the speed, was that we provide the feedback sign. So we're hoping it helps, and we're hoping it reduces accidents and other issues.
What was taking them so long?
JUB is working on a concept for our Grandview Park, and so we're working on that potential. I have submitted one grant application for assistance in helping purchase the park and the various different ones, and I'm working on 2 other ones currently to submit.
Ryan, on the Grandview Park, have we moved anything with the Rocky Mountain Power and moving those poles?
Rocky Mountain Power has agreed that they'll move poles. They're working on the price to do so, but we do have a design for them to work from and give us a price. We're just waiting for them to give us a price. But,
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yep.
That really makes that a lot better park up
Yep.
there.
We'll expect that we'll probably move 2 of them, and we'll only move the pole about 20 feet from where it's currently at. That'll help us so that we only have to move 2 structures rather than 4. And we figure, the placement of them wasn't the problem. It's the height of them that was our problem. And so, yeah, we're working on that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. We're working, and we've gotten 3 different companies to give us tentative plans for the Hillcrest playground. And so we'll probably have a post out on social media to get some ideas of what people are liking. But hopefully we'll have the playground maybe by next spring is what our kind of thought is. But before the end of the fiscal year. And then the 1200 South sewer line request for engineering. Engineering proposals have come back, and it will be a joint Public Works and administration meeting between Logan and Providence to evaluate those. And so we're doing that next week. So hopefully we can pick an engineer out of the 4 that submitted. But Logan will run the correct construction side, and we'll run the payment side. So we'll pay for it, and they'll design, build, and
So 1200 South Logan.
Heck of a
yes.
Okay. When you said 12 I'm thinking, wow, whoa, wait a minute. Where's that one at?
That is where our gravity sewer flows between Highway 89 and Highway 165.
Okay.
So 89, 91, and 165. So anyway, name all the freeways. But anyway, we're working on that. And we've had an amazing sauerkraut. A lot of our staff were involved. I hope that the candy trade worked out for you. I know that Brent didn't get a trade in there because he was driving, but I traded the rest of the ones for their bags. I traded out one bag, an empty bag, for a new one at my point, so they could.
Do you guys
throw out
have
more
any
candy.
bags to declare? I need a bag.
I ran out. But
Sorry, I had one bag. I should have thrown it to you.
my wife
Probably
said,
one of your kids. have
next
ruined
year,
it.
we'll buy candy also. 'Cause I don't want to run out.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't give you 2 bags because I figured that you might not throw as much out.
He throws as much as you do, apparently, when you're walking.
We
So.
were just throwing like crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, we bought 150 pounds of candy and you distributed. So
Well, we
way to
ordered,
go.
what was it, 6 boxes to start with?
Six bags, probably about 50 pounds. When it came, I thought that's probably not enough, so I ordered another double of that order, and it sounds like that's probably what we need. And we had a second bag. It sounds like we didn't get it to you, and we could have, but
I didn't throw any. I used youth council candy.
that's true. You did.
Yeah.
You did. But the others got a swap mid.
If it wasn't on the youth council, we would need more.
Yeah. So anyway, but so that went really well. Our staff, really moved towards that in venture. The best float, obviously, was the last one, in my opinion, and that was our Public Works picking up the cones. So they're my favorite. No offense to the rest, but obviously, I think that that was the favorite float for me, is seeing them pick up the cones at the end. I had a pet peeve, and I so appreciate Carrie helping. I think it is so awkward to be in a parade and the parade stops because you've already thrown your candy. You're standing there, and when the parade stops, you're like, what do I do? Do I throw more candy? Do I just stand here and look at them? And with the youth council's help and Carrie's help and the parade organizer, we had that route, and that pace stayed consistent throughout.
Did it help keep that pace at all?
Absolutely.
I mean, I didn't want.
Absolutely.
I was worried about getting run over, but I think your husband told me I
Josh was
kept the
trying to
pace.
run over him.
Yeah, I thought that pace went great. I would say it's
Big.
certainly
We had
just
one.
get
one of
big-
my favorite.
The beginning, yeah.
The beginning.
Keeping
flags,
the
just the
parade
flags took
going
off.
at
and-
the keeping the parade going at the end. 'cause
Yeah.
In the past, people dumped right at that T at Zollinger Park, and then it stalls the whole parade. So trying to get them to go and go down 100.
And they went right down Second West and went to South to First South, and then they lined for South and went there. It worked out
Really
great. And
Yeah, and
thank
having
you
you guys'
for
help telling
continuing through
people
that
to
and
keep going.
well worth the
$80.
$80
Popsicles
in
that I turned
popsicles.
into Ryan.
So, okay, we got you covered. So anyway, we have recreation items that go on. We have a lot of other things that are happening. But anything else you have election-wise or okay. That is our report, and we want it noted at 9:00. We took less time for our report than anyway.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we thank the staff and Ryan and all them for all they did, as I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
I was noticing this.
Hi, are you needing to record separate?